again, brothers and sisters. This is Jack Talcott. Welcome back to Chats with Jack, and it is Talcott time. I'm saying that, and as the intro was rolling, I was checking myself. Checking within. I gotta admit, it's a little forced today. Um, got up this morning. The energies were low. The motivation. Self-doubt started creeping in a bit, and then it was like, what's the point? What should be the point? So today, well, it was another day in the adventure, and we all have these days where you're just kind of wondering, what's the purpose? What if I'm right? What if I'm wrong? What should I be doing? What could I be doing? I don't know. So to get out of my head, I went outside earlier, sat in the sun, just felt the warmth. Allowed my feet to ground to connect. There you go. Allowed my feet to connect to the grass, the earth, all the life that's below. And sitting there in the sun, my eyes closed and just trying to allow myself to dissolve, right? Meditation. For those who know or those who don't, that's the goal, is to just be peace and just dissolve away. Like, who was it that said that the other day? I think it might have been our friend George from True Life Podcast said something about sometimes you got to empty your cup, choose what you're going to fill it back up with. So I wanted to empty my cup of the clutter, which is the self-doubt, and, reevaluate. What do I know? What is true? Fill myself back in my mind, in my energy, of only that which I know and which is, hopeful. And so then it really came down to just being honest. Sitting there in the sun, not isolated, but alone, connected to Mother Earth, feeling the warmth. I noticed my breath just happening. I don't have to remember to breathe. My body breathes me. And just knowing that I'm breathing in that moment earlier, it reminded me. It's really all we have to do. We just have to be. And to know that we be. So, golly geez, I meant to make some notes on that. I'm just remembering there was some inspiration as I was sitting there, and it had to do with what we are, who I am, what I am. That's what it was. Okay, so Jack, time to get out of your head, time to get into your heart, into reality, into the state of your being today. So sitting there in the warmth of the sun, not isolated, but alone. And recognizing the stillness of me while the birds are chirping and nature's happening. There's traffic in the background. I hear the neighbors working on projects. Life is, and what I am I am the moment. Because the moment is what creates us, and we create our moments. It's dynamic and it's beautiful. It's like this little dance. It's a little dance of within us and everything else through time. And it's like, wow, what an adventure, man. I'm so grateful to be a part of this. human history, I mean. I think it's pretty cool. The thumbnail today, Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. We can call ourselves all sorts of things. We can call each other all sorts of things as well. But in the end, what does it matter? What does it matter what we call ourselves? What does it matter what we call each other? See, there's a difference between what is real and what is known. What is real for us is the fixed and the observable, the measurable. What is known, now that's a tough one to quantify. But I was thinking earlier, it's through language that our mind is open to greater detail of that which is. What was that note? I didn't write that one down either. There's a thought I had about that. Because there is that which is, but to really understand that which is, you want to know the details. You know, it's not just the what, it's kind of you want to know the how, you want to know the why. And so, I don't know, the human species is absolutely confused. Because one of the things I was reminded of today is some of the corruptions that's been documented throughout American history, global history. Humans have been a corrupted, immoral, just holy cows, fascinating. Humans are a fascinating thing to study. Pick an aspect and study what people are. Psychology or biology or history or dude, people are fascinating. I never used to think that though. Because I thought I knew. It's amazing how this life is working out. See, we learn who we are through our experience of time and through the feedback we receive through the environment and from others. So we learn the objective truth. I don't know, the objective truth is revealed to us, and we've all got these different subjective truths, but it doesn't change the objective reality. And the objective reality, here, to qualify, I'm Jack Talcott. I have no certification. I have no college degree. Believe me or don't. Humanity is deceived, quite confused. If you look at the collective as a whole, quite egoic, boastful, prideful. Pretty darn cool, though, too, actually. I mean, hell, look at the conveniences of technology that we've got right now. Gosh, we live such comfortable, we meaning myself and those who I know, particularly in my past experience, the people I used to bitch about life with. God, I found so many things to complain about because I never really realized it. My complaints of others and the situations I found myself in, my complaints just wasted my time. Can you understand the logic behind that statement? sitting around complaining, worrying, blaming, doesn't accomplish shit. Really doesn't, you know? And yet I did that a lot, but I wasn't trying to think if this is accurate, but I think it is. I learned the lesson of the value of speaking the truth the hard way, so to speak, in many different ways. Maybe I was a slow learner. But where I am today, again, accept these conclusions as information, but consider the thoughts for yourself. Oh man, this is beautiful. Now that I'm thinking about it. The other day, I don't remember if it was on my panel or another panel, someone asked the question, what religion? Because I was proclaiming my faith the way I often do. And I did. I narrowed it down to following the way of the Christ. I don't like calling myself a Christian because that's a word that's, well, I know the definition of Christians that I've seen in much of my life. So the point is, the question was asked, what religion? The religion should be love, right? Love should be the religion of humanity. We should all be seeking to understand and to grow in our own personal relationships with love, the energy, the concept, the action, the power. Can you imagine a world where humanity had a strong individual connection to love, where everyone just loved being because they saw the grace and the divinity that we've been gifted, life, that magical thing where you take breath and plants and turn it into energy and life? I mean, it's like, holy cows. Imagine a world, this one, but different, right? With our influence, not our opinions, not our, insecurities, not our hangups, not our fears, not that crap, but with the talents, with the creativity, with the power of humanity together when we unite. Whew, man, I've only experienced the power of community on pretty small levels. That's true and not true. I've also been part of what I felt was a big community in my my national union. I felt part of different communities, but I always felt separated from humanity. I never felt like I kind of fit in. I was always uncomfortable in my own skin. I never really understood why. And, the only thing I can tell myself that makes sense is that it's God's plans. And I tell you what, when I was sitting in the sun today, reminding myself to ground into better energy, more positive, more healthy, more inspiration. That's my solution, honestly. Praise God. It's humbling. It's humbling to think that you have no power. It's humbling to think that it's humbling to know that you've allowed yourself to be deceived. It's very humbling. It's very humbling to know that you've misguided others, that you've taught others the wrong things. I admit to doing that with my son. I taught him a lot of the right things, but I raised him with some of the some of the deceptions that I had accepted for myself, specifically with government, the power. I taught my son to believe in the world. Fuck, oh dear. Hopefully he knows to believe in himself. But that's the lesson it took me a lifetime to learn, was how to believe in myself. You know, to become comfortable with me, where I was at my point, my place in life. And please, admittedly, it's taken a lot of inner work and a lot of surrender for me to find pride in myself. Failed marriage, failed relationships, failed career, failed reputation, failed. So, yeah, it's easy to dismiss the words I say. Who am I to offer suggestions on self improvement? I tell you what, man, this is God's story. I'm just the narrator of my life. How do you tell your stories? Are they sob stories? Are they success stories? Hey, a few wonderful people. Simple Jack Live. God bless. Welcome. Quantum Epic. Welcome as thank you. Flow State, God bless. Snow Snafu. Optics are high. Much love. Crystal Shaman, thank you. Hey, back at you. Chris, love with right standards and principles. The Holy Bible. Amen. But in this story God has authored, that Bible, that knowledge, it's been misunderstood. Let's see. I assume that's towards me, but you have to be able to talk to your fellow man, Jack. Amen. I've asked people to allow me to have conversations as me, but brings you to here. The link is in the panel for those who want to join. Let go of the past. I suspect that's coming from someone in denial about something, but I don't want to assume. You're more now than you are. Amen. Amen. Crystal, thank you. I believe I have. I believe we all have. Hey, past tense on this one, Sly. I've admitted my anger. Admittedly, it's still, yeah, you know what? I am an example, guys. Anger really accomplishes very little. Usually causes much more damage than anything. Anger comes from our egoic judgment, right? Where we come to a conclusion that we've been wronged, we've been harmed, or that a future where we've thought was ours, where we've already claimed something in the future, thinking we've earned it or we own it, whatever. Betrayal is a bitch. And the worst betrayal starts all betrayal, man. There's only one mind. There is only one mind, I'll comfortably say, throughout humanity. There's like one human consciousness, a field of knowledge, interpreted, observed, received, whatever, through humanity. There's only one mind, and we imagine so many separations. See, I'm becoming more and more comfortable in my beliefs. Because how do you really know? You can only know based on feelings. And I tell you what, I've tested myself and I've been tested by many others, and I feel pretty good, pretty confident in the things I do and the things I say. I tell you what, the religion for humanity could easily become love. See, and love, while it's not quantifiable, it's not measurable, it's not really even definable, it's something that is necessary. It's unmistakable. So the way I see it is there's an energy of love that the religions have pointed to. In the stories of Jesus, it was demonstrated, but he's not the only example like that. There's a lot of powerful, loving examples of humanity that we're all capable. We are all capable of offering the world more. We are all capable of becoming more. I never used to believe that. I never even used to think about that. And if I did think I could become more what? Such a negative outlook. More what, Jack? More fat? More poor? More rejected? Hell no, I can get more drunk. That's the old Jack, man. That's the old Jack. We've all got our old versions of ourselves as children, teenagers, whatever, different occupations. We've been taught change is scary, change is painful. Well, what is painful is watching others getting hurt. Watching immoral men and women rise with abundance and influence, knowing that there's so many good people, it really challenges my faith. Hello, Tommy. Welcome.
Jack, I don't care what your KD ratio is. I'm going to get that F-16 jet. I'm coming for your side, bro. I don't care where you spawn. You are done.
I don't know what that means.
This is simple Jack, Battlefield 2043, is it not? You're fucking dead, dude. I'm coming for you. I got the snipes. I'm going to do a MLG video on you. It's going to have the Doritos and the Mountain Dew raining down.
Fuck, I look forward to it. What? I don't know
what's Simple Jack. This is Simple Jack, Battlefield 2043. Am I right?
No, this is not Simple Jack. I think you mean Simple Jack Live.
Oh, he's not going to be live if it's you and I find you on this Battlefield 2043, bro. How many achievements you got unlocked?
Wait, are you saying 2023 or 2043?
In 2023, I will be finding you on Battlefield 2043 with them snipe shot, snipe cam, headshot, boom.
Okay. I don't know what to do with that, Tom.
Me neither. I'm just throwing it out there. I thought Simple Jack would be here by now.
Hey,
he must be watching his sleep movies.
No, hey, let me welcome greetings, Wobbly and Christos.
Hey, Jack. Hi, Christos.
Hey, I'm serious. I want to talk to that buddy of yours. Please.
A buddy of mine?
Oh yeah, I forgot we had spoken about that. I can.
Yeah, he also forgot that I was the one that showed him your buddy.
Well, no, I remembered that after you reminded me. Welcome, Paul. Welcome.
You don't remember it if you're reminded, Jack. But I wouldn't try
Greetings,
and talk to him,
Talcott.
Jack. He's not a new ager. He became who he is from being a new ager, and you're going to get your feelings hurt.
Okay. Hey, Tom. Holy cows. I don't know what to do.
I would just steer clear of that one. You got with Wes Watson. I'm just saying, with that humble dude doing the Chosen videos, I'd steer clear of it.
Okay. I'll do my best.
And I rarely give advice, Jack.
There's a flow hate here now. Yeah, he's looking out for you. There's a flow
No,
hate here.
I'm looking out for the elect, is what I'm looking out for. But he doesn't need it.
Oh my goodness. What did we get ourselves into when we volunteered to become alive?
Well, we may have volunteered to be alive, but we definitely volunteer if we claim Sky Daddy. And that's what you've gotten yourself into. That's why I would say steer clear of that elect until you know you're sure of what you're saying. And you're not sure yet.
No, I'm pretty sure. This is what I mean.
That's pretty sure. That is not sure.
Tom, I'm only pretty sure that this is real. Okay?
Is this real, man?
Well, here, I am more leaning. Actually, I can explain the reasons too. I lean that we are in a holographic fucking psychedelic experience. It's a simulation of life for the purpose of developing our inner spirits. It's spiritual, physical, mental. It's fucking amazing.
Can my hologram be modified to be more Ryan Gosling shape?
Maybe. I don't know.
If I was Ryan Gosling shaped, I could get away with talking less like he does.
Jack, do we know who this flow hate is?
Oh, it is hate. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, do we know who that is?
That name.
We don't know who that is?
I think it was the authentic. I'm pretty sure it was the real.
What does his picture say, Daddy? Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he left. But dude, Paul.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out the right words, right? Find the right way to get across what I'm saying. But
when I do that, Joe Cool says I'm dancing and hiding and scared. And I'm like, I just need to find the correct word.
Well, sometimes there is that because I'm sick of screwing it up.
And Elon Musk does the same thing. You watch him pause and consider what he's about to say. And people usually respect that unless you're Joe Fool.
I'm thinking of the future, okay? And the dynamic that is here and the potentials that might be. But I don't know what it is that I even want anymore because, like I said, today I think I reached another level of surrender. And like the future is going to be what it is. But there's something weird. There's something weird going, unexplainable. There is something unexplained, so far unexplained. Throughout humanity. And in my life. I think the point I'm dancing around, I think you and I are supposed to work together. I don't know.
You and I, what name are you saying?
I'm speaking to Unslavius.
Yeah, then say Paul, because we're all sitting here.
But you know,
we're going to do this again, Jack, where you think we should work together. What does that mean?
I thought that's what I want to figure out. But I
thought that's what we were doing. And how am I supposed to work together with you when you gave a wrench to this host state person who's been begging everyone on the metaverse for wrenches because he's so power hungry and pathetic?
Wait,
Who else have I begged, Paul?
So anybody that I'm going to work with immediately. One second.
I asked a question about your accusation.
I can answer it.
Yeah, one second, please. So anyone I'm going to work with, I again question their discernment if they have these kind of cretins with wrenches. So until that's taken, I can't work any further. And I thought we're already working together. We're doing so much together. We're pioneering in so many ways. It's not always pretty, but it's real.
Hey, I know there was another question there, but this is what you just said is true. I noticed this myself. It's my expectations that are getting in the way of everything. So
sound like my mom.
So did you just blackmail Jack?
So about your wrench envy, Flow State.
Hush, I'm asking Paul a question.
Please, sir, please. You asked a question. How are you a wrench desirer? You suggest that you get wrenches like 16-year-old Tom suggested blowjobs from every girl he did a favor for.
I know, but you're not adding anything. And the question was for Paul. Paul, do you have receipts for your claims?
Yeah, I'd rather not argue with you on
I know, because you never have receipts. I've never seen you provide a single receipt anytime I've asked for them for anything.
Listen, again, like Tom said, only teen girls use the term receipt. Provide receipts. I'm not like you. I don't timestamp. I don't say things. I don't say things that aren't true. So I don't need receipts.
Absolutely do. That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
We've all experienced it. We've all experienced it. Every panel you go to, you throw it out there.
So it should be very easy for you to find a receipt on the floorboard somewhere besides yesterday.
Well, if you do it once,
it's the same thing you did with OTW.
Here we go.
Paul?
Here we go.
OTW.
This wasn't in my contract.
Boing, boing, boing.
Yes, it's exactly the same thing I did. You're not revealing anything. We've all been here watching and listening and experiencing. You're acting like you're all breaking news here, or that I have to break news we've all experienced. Certain ones of you are like jealous and envious and hating. You're desperate in many areas of your life. And you suggest that you get wrenches everywhere you go. And I think it's fucking
envious hating one might be the guy who came in and then just blackmailed working with Jack.
Hey, I'd like to say something. This is actually good because
Snaps are trying to hijack again. Snafu Snaps, you're trying to hijack Snafu Snaps. You're hijacking. You're hijacking.
But no, you're working with Illuma Tommy. And you got Illuma Tommy to work with.
Another jealous, envious hater who's on his 5th channel that's failing.
Respect. This is a new time. It's a new moment. This is a different place. So, I mean.
So, Jack, I was accused of something, and I'm asking Paul to back up his accusation.
What would I be jealous and envious of concerning you?
No, the first one.
Oh, so you're not going to back up your accusation, but ask me to back up mine. That's fascinating. Go ahead.
Let's take it chronologically. Where else have I asked for a wrench that you've seen?
OTW.
I didn't ask for a wrench.
You didn't bring it up at all? You didn't bring it up at all?
But that's okay. OTW
you should know that because you're accusing of it, but you should know what you're accusing me of.
Okay, so then I'll ask you, why is there 3 people in a conversation between 2 people? Because Snafu Snaps is retarded.
No, that's because you're asking Jack to get on his knees.
Snafu Snaps is retarded. No, why are you? What are you, the metaversal? Are you the metaversal advocate? It's like you folks go everywhere, listen to what I say, and then decide what stance you're going to take on it. Get a fucking life and a purpose.
Did I come here to cry about your wrench on somebody else's channel?
No, I came here, like you said, to expose me in a chat box, but can't do it on panel ever. I come to do the same. You set the conditions, right? So
what conditions?
So you tell me. I'll ask you like you asked me. Mm-hmm. You're telling me honestly, as a man, you've never brought up getting wrenches anywhere else.
Oh, I'm sure I have somewhere else.
Oh, okay. So then again, if you've done it once, it's enough. But you do it multiple places, just like Tom says.
You said I do it all the time, every panel I go to. You can't think of not one place that you've ever seen me ask for another wrench. So you're talking out of your ass, basically.
Yeah, I don't sit around with notes on what every little metaversal miscreant does.
I'm just making the point that you're speaking on things that you actually don't know anything about.
It's a common theme, right?
Okay.
And I just asked you, have you done it? You said, I'm sure I have. So you know damn well you make a habit of it. So why
I've been going to panels for like 10 fucking years. I'm sure it's happened.
Well, there you go. You've been wasting your life for 10 years, and this is what you got to show for it. You finally got a wrench on someone's panel.
10 years, but not 10 hours a day every day of the week.
Can we?
Right. Well, I don't understand why you keep bringing up what I do versus what you do.
Well, there are many patterns of comparisons. Can we please move past the comparisons? It's a tactic we've been conditioned with, and it's for the purposes of division. Okay. Hey, actually, this is something I wanted to talk about. Today, my inspirations, not just the sunshine and grounding, but I watched a brilliant discussion on consciousness and psychedelics from some scientists, different universities. Anyway, they had some beautiful points that were very inspiring. If you look at history, the way that religion became this fixed dogma and brought in a lot of rigidity, well, then those structures carried over into the sciences, but the sciences detached from the spirit. And so we had this separation of knowledge through the past, and it's worked in many great ways. The methods that have been developed through the scientific methods, practices, there's been some wonderful achievements, but right now the science is showing, right? Well, we can get out of the materialist mindset and recognize the mystical, because we are both. We're both material and mystical. We are form and spirit. The materialist mind, it's all focused on quantity, what can be measurable, what can be divided, analyzed. The materialist mind is rigid, dogmatic, conditioned. But if we can convince ourselves to move into the mystical mindset that we all have, it's just a matter of capturing and understanding, I think. I don't know. But the mystical focuses on the quality of what's being observed. The mystical brings us the beauty. It brings us maybe the appreciation. The mystical is our spirit. And I'm telling you, that's my purpose here on earth. Is to help people wake the fuck up, get out of the materialist mindset, and get into the spiritual, capture the essence of life. Thanks for allowing me to ramble. Thoughts?
Yeah, where's my Illuma Tommy creature? That's my new support animal, Jack. So I can't have you throw him out. I need him here as my support creature. If you could put the link again, yeah. I need to have him up here lately. Right, ever since it became legal to have a human support animal. Well, humankind support animal.
Your positive energy has been infectious, Jack.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's actually what I was trying to tell myself earlier. And, that's something we can all remind ourselves. We are all on our different paths. How we feel about our different path, it depends on what we believe. And if you can convince yourself to believe that, your efforts with don't lie to yourself, but if you can truthfully and honestly say that you're making a difference, it feels good.
All right, Jack, I'm going to take your lead here since, as the man in chat said, Pistos is what he's calling him for some reason. I'm going to take your lead. I want reconciliation and resolution here today. If the flow state creature is willing to apologize for his defalcating and defrauding hateful ways, we can move forward.
Who's who? You and I can move forward, or he and you can move forward?
Oh no, me and Jack are like real good lately.
So what
ups and downs,
what specifically am I apologizing for?
It's your constant host state like behavior. Just avoiding my panel, going everywhere else, bitching and complaining, acting like a hoe in general.
Kind of like an underhanded insult, though. So I'm gonna have to pass. I would accept your offer if it were sincere, but it's not.
Okay, so you don't sincerely look at yourself in reflection and say that you act like a bitch and a hoe on a metaverse with a bunch of grown men, even so much as to embarrass yourself in front of Antoine's whole audience, being a walking joke. You still haven't figured that out yet either, right?
I find it amazing that you could accuse anybody else of having humiliated themselves on Anton's panel.
Right, but Antoine has come back to the broadcast a few times and had conversations with that were authentic, as you say, and genuine. So, again, I'm not doing the whole tit for tat where you keep comparing yourself to me, right? What I do and where I go and the conversations I have aren't reflected or turn out the way yours do. They're not reflective of, nor do they turn out the same way. So please stop comparing yourself to me in every venue when it's not the same. You spend hours a day on the metaverse for free, looking like a fool, embarrassing yourself and twitching and making few, if any, points.
Is this still part of your apology or your olive branch? I mean, your offer for me.
No. You're the one who started with the issues and the personality disorders and the two-facing.
I started with a wrench, and you started with crying about it.
No, that's today. You're going to like try to ignore the weeks and months of behavior that's like slow rolled into your current state.
I don't have to ignore your criticism of my appearance on Anton because you're the only person I've ever seen who's gotten degraded.
So you weren't on OTW's broadcast the other day, embarrassing yourself, yelling at him to turn me off because you didn't want to hear my voice and talking about wrenches and everything else over there. You didn't do that. We didn't all experience that, right?
Oh, I didn't ask for a wrench.
So you weren't acting like a hoe though that day, right? Like you weren't acting like you were at girls' night out and he pulled the phone out with pictures and video of me and you went, OTW, what are you doing? And you did it like 2 or 3 times.
He should never have given over his channel to you. It was
there you go. So you're girls' night outing and you're hating because you're sitting there worried about what OTW, another grown man, is doing with his broadcast and his channel.
I'm listening to
you don't like me.
And then you do this thing you do where it's territorial, right? So you move in, you have the moose creature, you send some flying monkeys to get in and get a wrench. Then what happens? Very next day, you throw OTW out of his own stream. Well, I guess that was O'Shea, technically.
What are you talking about? So now you're just completely lying. I didn't do anything at OTW stream, throwing anyone out. You're making stuff up, and you're deflecting away from the claims again. You're not as slick with me as you are with that woman of yours there.
You know what?
You embarrassed yourself with on Antoine. Stop deflecting and obfuscating.
When I accuse you of something, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I can bring proof.
I just did. I just said you've been acting like a hoe for weeks and months, and I gave you 2 or 3 examples of you acting like a bitch and a hoe, embarrassing yourself in public, trying to get power and control over a situation you have no power over.
These comparisons, and it's not healthy. We don't need to focus on what we see as wrong in each other. And, we don't. Fuck, oh dear, man.
I just want to know why Paul's so upset about what's going on your channel.
What makes you think that I'm so upset?
You came in.
Another bizarre characterization. Here, let me come on camera. Do I look so upset to you?
You sure rushed over here quickly to make
another just presumptuous narrative. I rushed over here for you because I'm so upset with you. We didn't have like 5 or 10 minutes of conversation before you came in. That's not what just happened. Maybe you need to stop doing all the meth.
We don't. I'm sure I trust both of you came with the intentions of helping me. I appreciate the participation in the panel, but guys, we got to get past this. Paul, I mean, so what if he asked for a wrench? I mean, who cares?
I understand. Why are you going back to the wrench, which is the effect I'm talking about of the cause, which is him acting the way he has for weeks and months? But why are you talking over me? Why are you talking over me?
That was the source of today's drama for you, wasn't it?
Chain smoke another parliament and get your heart right.
Hey, Flo, I do see people use this platform as an opportunity to try and, face Paul. They don't spend time on his panel, but they want to use this as a space to do that. And that's not my intentions.
They want to use every space but my house to address me because they're a bunch of punk ass bitches.
Because you have a bad habit of backstaging people. I'm not going to go on your stream and give you material and then get backstage.
So you're egoic about it. If you're not even smart and egoic.
We can continue this. I'll start a channel tonight after Jack's over, and we can continue this talk.
There you go. Flow State now doing his promotion and marketing for his new channel where I'm going to go over there. And now we have another monster that I'm going to create who's going to get 1,000 subscribers.
Are you being egoic?
No, the point is that why would I do the same process again I've done with others that have turned them into
shut you up so that we can move on to whatever.
Not shut me up because I won't backstage you one time. Your bitch ass won't come on the panel and talk like a man. You're making exxuses. It's not about backstaging. You're a hoe.
I've given you an opportunity to.
What would you say if I was in your face right now? Would there be another reason why you wouldn't address it with me? Oh, I can't be in your face and talk to you because you'll just do X, Y, Z and I'm not giving you blah, blah, blah. Right. So there's no accountability, responsibility. If you came up on my panel and I backstaged you, it would just make me look fucking bad. How does it make you look bad? But you're too stupid to get out of your own way, huh?
Hey, Paul, if you believe all these insults that you're saying, you're going to treat him as though those things are true. So
no, I'm not believing all the things I'm saying. I'm saying he has a pattern of acting like a hoe. That's not something I generated. I observed it and reporting it.
Paul, respectfully, I'm telling you, you've got a pattern of yourself, and I'm encouraging you to start looking at what you say. Okay? Make sure that what
I could only compare it to one thing. Right? Like I said, girls' night out. That's what all these panels are. Gossip, girls' night out.
Yes, there's a lot of that. And honestly, Paul, hey, let's bring that around. Because honestly, that was one of the things I realized. Man, you're a younger man than me. You know a lot of shit, and you're doing some pretty amazing things. And here I was fucking whatever. I was disrespecting the broadcasting and the entertainment that you were fucking delivering. So I didn't mean to disrespect you. However, I'm still critical of this damn stuff, and I have a feeling, and when Anton allows he and I to have a conversation again, this is going to be a point of disagreement for us as well. However, he did say in some of his previous streams that he's looking at trying to change some directions because I think he's seeing this gossiping and reviewing others. And dude, we can accomplish so much. And I think I see it, Paul. I see success, and it's right there. It's waiting to be received for us all. when we believe success and abundance and a better life is available, we'll start. You got to believe it. And then when you start taking actions, then you'll see more. Holy shit, as I'm thinking about this, or as I'm speaking this. When you believe something can be achieved and you start taking that first step, even though you don't have the path and you don't have all the tools, you don't have it together, but you start taking efforts. As soon as you start taking a different effort, you're breaking your old patterns, you're putting something new into your life, and that newness, that simple deviation in schedule, deviation in patterns, it'll bring different perspectives. And with the different perspectives, you'll gain more ideas, more inspiration, more enthusiasm, more confidence. But you got to believe. You got to believe. I don't know. Good.
You're in a rut, Paul. That's
Exactly,
what
some
I'm saying.
momentum.
What are you saying now, host? You just waited for Talcott to finish. You just waited for Talcott to finish just to go back to the same shit where he left off at. So go ahead and continue. I'm what now?
You heard me. That's all I had to say. Get out of your
I didn't
rut.
hear. I'm in
You're
a rut.
You're in a rut. I think
What
Jack's
rut?
trying to say that you're in a rut.
What? So now you're interpreting for Jack.
He can correct me if I'm wrong.
To anyone, but
So what rut am I in exactly? Could you give me evidence of what you just claimed?
Do you get on stream every day and do the same thing every day? Listen to Wes Watson talk every day. Wait for people.
So does Wes Watson come on every other day and do 10 minutes of pretty much the same idea, speaking it in a different way?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to Wes Watson.
Right. There you go. And that's why Wes Watson is way more successful than you'll ever be, because of what he applies and understands that habits lead to success. So practice makes perfect. If you come on every day and you talk about some of the same things in a little bit of a different way, then you hone your ability to speak about whatever it is you're speaking about, whether that's life, an entertainment aspect, right? It's about working yourself in the process. So what you call a rut, I call working and honing my craft in quotes, to not be Masonic with the lingo, right? So I see you in a rut, desperate clinging for wrenches and power that really means nothing, right? Like my live viewers have been up higher lately than they have been in months. Again, I'm making a living doing broadcasting. So how could I be in a rut if I'm still doing that? I'm blessed. I'm thankful and grateful for that. Where exactly is the rut?
Hey,
you're here watching and talking about it every day.
Actually, I'll point out, brother, with love and care, you've been resistant to me to allowing diversity or novelty from the past. I've been trying.
Right, but this is a guy who's been on panels for 10 years and has the balls to tell me about a rut a year into paneling. When I'm in a conversation with a whole bunch of folks who they can't get into a conversation with if they tried, and when they do, they're a fucking embarrassment.
But we're here, and honestly, hey, just evaluate what can be. I'm telling you, Paul, I love you, but your dedications. How long do you think you're going to fucking do that? You're going to do 7 days a week for 5 years? 6 years?
I don't understand why is anybody else I'm in a rut, he just said. So if I just did 7 days a week for the last 9 months, I'm so in a rut that I should be burnt out and ready to quit. Right? But I'm kind of more inspired and energized and co-creative than ever. Whether I break out of the latest box that I've created for myself, like we all do, that's only a matter of time. Again, there's a lot of things that I could.
Then you would know better than I would. You're in a position to know more about what you're doing than I am. So,
right, and that's what I don't get is why everyone else would perceive or presume to know who and what I am and what I'm doing, and then make extreme false characterizations to the other side of things, when the reality is I'm doing better in my life now than ever. So I'm far from in a rut. I'm on a moving train, and that's obvious to pretty much everyone but the haters. Go ahead.
Well, both things can be true. Okay. Please. I'm telling you, you and we have different skill sets. And I've been trying to figure out how to capture and how to do. I don't know. I've been trying to figure out what to do with what I have on my own. You have a different, you got a different range, a different dynamic of expertise.
I'm not an expert on anything, Talcott. I just, like you say, either believe and or know I am that am. And I know that with that will, right, of what is meeting life on life's terms, I am valuable. I am enough. I don't have to come on here and do what they all do. I could do what they all do as good or better than what they do. Passio's been doing the same shit for 15 years. He's in a motherfucking rut.
Yep.
Talking anarchy and saying sign up for classes and screaming and yelling because he can't pay his mortgage.
Right.
Are you kidding?
Right. And this is where I'm coming in. This is what here. I don't know. All I can do is speak what I feel. I am a leader. God developed me into a leader. I've got the experience. I know my heart and my mind. So far, ever since I lost the title of a position, nobody's wanted to let me lead. But I tell you what, whether on the panel, in the chat, or at a future listener, if someone's willing to join, and I'm not trying to be a fucking narcissist or I'm not trying to do anything other than join with other leaders.
Hey, Talcott, let me ask you a question because my chat's now arguing about it. What they don't get is, this is an old line. It's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight and the dog. It's about heart. Most motherfuckers, you ain't got the kind of heart I got. I could just tell by looking at you. So can everyone else. So I want to know, like they say in the chat, Talcott, who do you got your money on? Because now they're going to their usual nonsense like chimpanzees. Say, Snafu says, oh, Paul's got to learn how to stand up and stop eating processed foods before he could ever fight me. Because they're going now to fighting, right? This is what the chimpanzees do. Who do you got your money on in an altercation, Talcott? Me or Snafu Snaps? I'm curious. Be honest. Because I can't stand up and I eat processed foods, right?
How big are each of you? I mean, it's impossible to tell through this.
Hey,
yeah, size doesn't really always matter, man. I mean, it's really not
the only factor, but it is a factor.
All right, Snafu, what's your dimension, Snafu? I'm calling out to him now. We'll satisfy the flow state person because again, I've got into an interaction with somebody one time who was third in county, as it's told, pretty much amateur wrestler who was on his way to being professional, and there was not a motherfucking thing that I could have done to him because he had so much mat time that. All he has to do is get his hands on you and he's going to crawl all over you like a spider. So unless you have extreme training in certain disciplines, I'm not even going to get into that because I don't want to hurt you and I don't want to be hurt. But I just think it's funny. You guys can't compete with me in any of these arenas. And then you go to talking about fighting as if you got me there by a long shot. Why do you underestimate me in all these things? Or is this false strength? What is that?
It is kind of a silly arguing point.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said many times, you might be able to beat my ass all up and down the street. I'm going to get right up and say you're still a punk-ass, bitch-ass slave who can't manage your own affairs.
Internet, so we'll never know, and it's pure speculation. It's kind of spinning your wheels.
Well,
my pick for a verbal debate would definitely be Paul out of flow state because flow state spends an inordinate amount of time telling Paul what's wrong with him, and when Paul challenges flow state deflects and runs away. So verbally, Paul's an outright winner. You're about 3,000 to 1 flow.
Anyway, yes, the humans are so fucking addicted to conflicts. They imagine and bet on imaginations, man. It's fucking crazy. Humanity is a confused species. We've got to stop fighting. I'm a man of peace, and I'm telling you, I know the things oh dear. It's the only thing that makes sense. If this is real, But if it's not real, why not try anyway? Try to end the wars and bring global reform. I think it's waiting to be captured.
I just tuned back in, I was off into my imagination. I tuned back in, and you're really on an end all wars rant again, aren't you?
I am, dude.
All right, well, fuck it, end wars then, I guess.
Well, that's what I want to do. And that's what I was saying. I don't know what you've heard or not, so I don't mean to repeat things from earlier today, but I was watching that presentation from that Stephen Greer about the things that they're doing with the disclosure project.
Here we go.
Apparently, they are actually meeting with people in Congress and with some of the different departments of the. I don't know, dude. We're close. We are so close right now.
That's the alien guy, isn't it?
Yes.
Optics are fucking high.
Sounds like Blue Beam to me.
Could be.
Snafu's not going to tell you how big he is, apparently. He just completely ignored the question. So he obviously feels like a little bitch because if he didn't, he'd have given his measurements. Not that matters. Again, oh, yeah, that kid, I never even mentioned it. He was about 5'8", probably about 185 pounds. He was just all over me like a fucking spider. Yeah, every move I made, he would fucking counter it, make a move.
I don't disagree with you. Heart is more important than size, but size.
No, I'm saying training. I'm saying it's not because you could have all the heart you want. If somebody's trained, right, like day after day, training on the mat, sparring, competing, sparring. There's nothing somebody at the average guy is going to walk out of their home and play with them. They're going to fucking eat you alive.
You know how many like black belts get knocked the fuck out the first time they get in an actual street fight? Training is only useful if you got heart, same as size.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about folks who are really living their information and what they do, and it's not just a sport; it's a lifestyle. You deal with some of these wrestlers from the East Coast; they're fucking waiting to start problems with you.
Hey, Paul, you want to stand up and do it side by side? I mean, I have no problem standing up and standing up. You want to stand up? Then maybe we could do a side by side and see who's bigger or not.
Yeah,
I don't. You do talk a lot, but what I'm saying is,
no, you were the one. You were the one, like you did with Tommy.
You cried about wrenches to Flow State, which you did to OTW, and OTW got on his knees and sucked your dick. And fucking got rid of it.
Were you mad? Were you upset? Were you upset?
But I will stand up, Paul. If you want to stand up, let's compare fucking size.
Yeah, I'd rather not right now.
Stand up, Paul. Let's do it. Come on, let's stand up, Paul.
Can you give your measurements?
I'm ready.
Yeah, so you're like the thinnest guy ever, right? You're like the greatest shape ever.
I'm not thin at all. I'm not.
Bro, you just panned down to yourself and you had man tits. So why are you telling me you have three shirts on? You have three shirts on right now, and we can see your man tits clearly through the shirt.
Should I stand
Are
like
you kidding?
This? Do I need to go
I'd rather not. Yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather not. Hey,
you're the one sitting on a chair.
Snafu. There's Snafu.
Jeez.
There's a video from what is it, a year ago now already? The time is flying by. At least a year ago of me on stage doing whatever it is that I do. Right? So we've all seen me stand up.
We're talking about the present.
I don't understand. So between a year ago and now, what's happened that I can't stand up apparently?
You won't stand up. It's weird.
Yeah, I
don't
won't.
get it.
I choose not to play into your. I choose not to play into your nonsense games and deflections. So can we focus on you being? Can we focus on you being a punk ass bitch? Can we focus on you being a punk ass bitch and talking about fighting again like you always do, but ain't gonna do nothing?
No. See, that's where you got
No. That's what you were doing in chat and acting like why are you laughing now?
You were yapping.
Right. So now you're giggling. Right. Okay. So you did 3 years in prison, right? You did 3 years in prison, right? So you go to talking about fighting, and then when I go, hey, bro, what's all that? You go to giggling.
Trying to show your control.
Right, okay.
To see if Jack Talcott will get on a bended knee like OTW would.
It's not about a bended knee. Jack Talcott, like every other bro.
That's what
Jack
you were trying to do, Paul.
Snafu.
Don't lie. Stand up.
Snafu.
Stand up, Paul.
Snafu.
Please. There's nothing to be gained. I mean, if you can't imagine Paul standing up, fuck oh dear.
Yeah, I'll stand up when you go to doing what you just talked about doing, like they all do in real life. You'll see me stand up that day, right? Come on live stream to where I'm at, and you'll see me stand up on live stream and go out there and deal with your goofy ass. So you're always the ones talking about physical force and violence when I never bring that shit up. And I say, I'm not looking for that. And you,
Paul.
yes, you
Paul,
did.
Paul,
you said in the chat. You said in the chat until
what the fuck was being talked about. Tribe was telling me about you getting on a West program, and I said Paul would have to stand up, quit eating processed foods, and actually give a fuck about health. But he doesn't care about what people say about health.
And you bring up and you
Paul would pop you like a pimple, and then you read what I read. And said, "Oh, they're talking about."
So you went back. You went back to go forward.
Like
see,
you come in here and making shit up about flow state, wanting to be modded on all these channels. That's bullshit, dude. You came in here trying to do exactly what you did with OTW.
You're constantly trying to pick fights. You're constantly trying to pick fights. And you're constantly talking about physical, real world competitions and interactions, like you're really about it. So I don't understand what the point of that is.
I was locked up in prison for a minute, bro. I am about it. You fucking again. I'll stand up, motherfucker. You're the one.
So I don't understand. So like where you come from, people in prison just like fucking sit around talking shit all day and not doing nothing about it. That's like the kind of.
His answer went to the back with him. So, Smith, did you have something you wanted to share?
I just want to say I do think that you're a leader, and I just want to share a quick one with you guys. It was my Spurg breaking news for you. It's nothing negative. So you have, I don't know if you see my picture here. That's on the Vatican's robe. Like the Vatican was founded on 2-11, which reminds me of 2 Thessalonians 2:11. For this reason, God sends them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. And the Vatican's country code is 379, like the letters CGI. Like it's going to be a strong delusion of a fake alien invasion, because the real alien invasion is at the southern border. And when people lose their property, they get a lien put on it, which looks just like the word alien with a space in between. I don't know. I just think there should be more fellowship. And to you, Paul, God bless you. I just want to throw this out there. It's something I've tried to adopt lately. Maybe everyone on panel could. You know what my haters say about me? Me neither. Me neither. I don't care. So God bless y'all. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Smith. You know, we can confuse the shit out of ourselves. We can confuse the shit out of others, or we can learn how to flow, right? So I've been trying to figure out how to explain this, and I know my words, it may not make sense because I'm coming from a completely different perspective than I used to live myself. I didn't understand meditation. I didn't understand how to be present, but it is so simple. All you got to do is practice learning how to relax. And you can relax when you recognize that you really have very little control. So all these results that everyone wants to judge each other for, it's just for a moment right now. And I feel pretty damn good about the future. I really, really do. And I'm inviting people to join, not in like not in anything twisted either, just with the belief that, the belief that we can end wars, just simple shit like that, right? That we can actually end wars and and accomplish things that past generations have not been able to do. I feel like we don't have a choice, honestly. I mean, there are agendas. This is our game. I go back and forth. Because I feel a sense of urgency. There's a lot of fucking people. There's a lot of people who are suffering. And this life has so much pleasure and so many opportunities to bring. Lou, I would not rub your knees. Well,
what about for world peace?
I'd show him how. Show him how to.
Who would you demonstrate on? Would you demonstrate on yourself, or would you demonstrate on him so that he can take it over from there?
No, I would show. I'd have to. Ugh. I'd be rubbing Lou. Actually, you know what? Yes. I would be rubbing Lou's calves. Because I'm telling you, man, I have discovered so much pleasure within my body. And you know how? I surrendered. I surrendered to myself to the fact that I don't control the world. I don't control any relationships. I don't control anything.
You don't control that the male G spot is located deep in the rectum.
You only control how you get to it.
I've heard, yes, you control when and how you get to that. But did I control learning of that? Not necessarily. This is what the act of becoming present, it required me a commitment to honesty, right? No excuses in what I chose to believe, and then practice. But with humility, when I started questioning my beliefs, trying to figure out which ones were mine, supported by facts, and which beliefs came from a movie or something I heard on the news, I had to become pretty honest. And the fact is, that's where I was going to get at. When you become honest and you really, really start watching yourself, it's like what happens is we make a choice and then your body moves and you watch yourself doing what you're doing. You actually learn what you're doing as you do it, unless you pay attention. Maybe that doesn't make sense. Sometimes I do. I overanalyze and I try to understand. But this is what I mean.
Yeah, it's tricky, Jack, because I would have loved to respond, but a lot of times you just don't make a lick of sense, man.
I understand that, but if you can identify what doesn't make sense and give me a chance to try and present it differently,
Jack, I think he said any of it.
I know.
Respectfully,
I'm sure he did. But you know what? Wobbly was a trigger for me, and I don't know how. Wobbly, but I don't think I see any of your chats. Maybe that's not true. But
I'm very trigger happy with the old block button. Yeah. I get in trouble for it all the time.
But how would that keep me from seeing what
you get in trouble for blocking people?
Yes.
Well, anyway, Wobbly, you triggered me a while back, and I got pretty insulted by you a few times. But you've been part of the story. You've been part of the adventure. So we're all perfectly where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, we're definitely, you know, we're all linked. Everyone that's been hanging out with each other for the last 600 years, 6 months, is linked. And you trigger me, I trigger you, I trigger Snafu, Snafu triggers me. But some of the people I was very triggered by right at the beginning, I now get along with really well. So, like Mitch, you know, like Champ. I hated that guy for years before I even knew who he was. And now, you know, Champ, you know, Mitch.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Beautiful long blonde hair and a bus.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of what I've been wondering. I'm convinced, like I said, we are like a life experiment created by gods or aliens or whatever, right? We're in a simulated experience. It's holographic in nature. It's a cosmic light show. Everything is refracting and reflections of everything else. It's complicated as hell until you allow the complicated to make sense. Because if that is kind of the key, if you can allow the complicated to make sense, even though you may not be able to explain it perfectly, but if the complicated can make sense to you in your way, then you don't have to feel confused. Oh shit, as I'm saying this, confusion that's the problem of humanity. People have normalized confused minds with resent and excuses and whatever. So these confused minds, oh shit, I forgot where I was going.
Jack, I think I'm starting to hear voices.
Besides mine?
Yeah, like ones in my head.
Oh, do you have visitors? So how do you know which voices to listen to? That's the other key.
It's the art of discernment right there. See?
The one that keeps singing the relax song.
Don't do it when you want to go to it.
Yeah, that's all Jack hears all day long. When you want to come.
That's what Jack said when he's about to pop.
There's power, you know. I swear. Well, it sounds counterintuitive, but the key to happiness, success is to relax. The only way you can relax is to be complete, to be whole. So to be whole or to be complete, get rid of any lack, right? If you're longing for something that isn't there, you're missing something that no longer is with you, let it go. Fill yourself back up and become complete. But see, I think the key to live without fear is to relax. Relax into the fear, relax into the depression, into the anger.
Lead into the fear.
Yeah.
I'm leaning right into this restream and the fear of ruining my broadcast career and the depression that is likely to come with that, because I see the numbers just completely dropping.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Paul. I've known this day may come.
Spice it back up. Why are you bitching about my wrench?
I'm not bitching about it. It's just going to be taken. It will be taken. Jack Talcott will, I'm sure, respect my broadcasting prowess.
Your blackmail.
And my media influence.
You know,
I have a media influence.
I actually had a dream this morning that I commented in your stream, and I had a wrench.
Mm-hmm.
So
God's working again inside of both of us, merging us, and flow state's not going to stand in the way of that, is he, Jack? Right.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think we have that wrench handed over to Nile.
You know what? If the merger
Listen, he's getting very angry. Jack, he's getting very angry.
I'm cool as a cucumber, bro. I just want your guys' merger to be the last time you merge, so you don't have to keep schisming and then re-merging. And if you're coming into this merger with conditions like me not having a wrench, it's gonna fracture.
That's not. There's no condition on. Jack and I have already merged, pulled out, merged again, over and over again. It's a pulling and merging event. And there's 3 other people on the panel right now who are more fit to be wrench worthy than this flow state person with the filthy hat, part of the nasty hat club.
There's already too many people.
Yes.
You need to come into this merger with acceptance and surrender, Jack. Isn't that right, Jack?
It is.
You need to relax, let it open it up.
When you want to come.
And let Jack merge right in there.
See, George Michael was wise, really, because he actually knew he was gay.
There is actually a lot of truth to that. Learning how to relax even into that which is good. In our lives, we create these unhealthy resistances to all sorts of things, right? We make excuses to deny ourselves from change, from improvement. Self-sabotage is a very easy thing to do. And that's one of the things I've been wondering. Am I doing that? Fuck, I don't know.
Well, I think Paul's doing it right now to the merger.
You think he's doing...
merge with you. Let you guys flourish.
What? Oh, Lou, you're going to see your new friend having trouble relaxing when I want to go. Can you help? Probably, I don't know. I'd say more fiber, but I don't want to talk diet with you. Stool softeners. There you go.
That might relax you too much.
Well, it depends on how good of a friend he's going to see.
Try like coffee and cigarettes first. If that doesn't work, move to some grapefruit juice, and from there maybe.
Actually, I don't
maybe like stop stuffing so much meat down your gullet that you don't have an impacted colon. There's a thought.
That was my first consideration, but
it's all organic roadkill and stuff, so it's probably not that.
I've wondered how much. When I changed my diet, I did it pretty drastically and pretty rapidly. I went through a drastic physical transformation. And when I started seeing the results, I was like, holy shit. How long? How much? What's that?
How did you change it?
Initially.
You're talking about getting over constipation, Jack?
No.
Oh.
I used to be, dude, I eat fucking fast food maybe 5 nights a week and sometimes multiple times a day. Just garbage. I had no care for what I ate. And then when I started really kind of thinking about the influence of corporate profits into the diet choices, I was like, what the fuck are you thinking, Jack? And then as I started learning more, well, first when I learned of the industrial farming practices, that was like kind of the last nail for me of changing my choices to go more plant-based. Eventually, I ended up just completely raw, completely organic for a short period. But then I reminded myself, moderation in all things. So I started adding back stuff, and now I don't eat real healthy, but it's all plant-based. No dairy or um, or murder. No direct murder, at least.
Mm.
What changed my life was mindfulness. Trying to understand what mindfulness meant for myself, how to practice it, and to become more aware. And seriously, holy shit, guys, this is the key. That's what we are. We're not the body. We're not the measured part of this experience. I'm just trying to think. The body is the phenomena of life. We are the awareness of life. We're the awareness
But
of
we're not the body, because if your body's fucked up, that has a massive impact on everything else, on your perspective, your mood.
Amen. But we are the awareness of the discomfort, the awareness of the challenge, the awareness of the body. So we are actually the awareness. And to become more you, increase what you are aware of. What is it that makes you within you? What is it that makes you around you? And then figure out what you want you to be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we observe with certain beings, they may not have any arms or legs, you know, or they may not have arms and have only legs, and they'll like crawl to the kitchen, get a bowl with their feet, pour milk,
bro. I've seen
it, never fucking bitch or complain. So you could say that the situation with the body has a massive effect on the beingness if you let it. It could also be a massive source of motivation if you let it. So for the being who says arms or no arms, I'm going to do everything everybody else is going to do and more, because now I have a voice through the trauma and pain. That's what makes me who and what I am, rather than breaks me and takes away from my power. So there's our perspective in every situation, finding an opportunity for understanding and growth and empowerment versus finding an opportunity to see where everything's not going to work or isn't as good as everyone else, or not what you're supposed to have, right? Entitled.
Amen. Hey, I love what you just said. And with that example too, thinking back in my life, I felt shitty about myself because I was always comparing myself to others. But once I started comparing myself to others and actually looking at their achievements, you know, some of the things like that, there are beings who are, you know, all sorts of handicaps and developmental challenges, physical challenges, and many of them, dude, they just fucking rock on. I mean, not like any of us really have a lot of conscious choice in what we can do, but there's a lot of people who have accomplished and are doing some pretty inspiring things.
Well, it's cliche, right, Talcott? But what's the old Irish saying? The man with no shoes was complaining until he met a man who had no feet.
Amen. There's actually a guy, yeah, people don't want to receive my coaching stuff because my results suck. When I went through the training, the live event part, there's another dude who's paraplegic. I think he's I don't know the right word. I know he's completely wheelchair bound and very limited in his mobility. And he's a life coach. He's a fucking inspiring dude. Just, he's got the fight and heart of a lion. And that's within all of us. Life brings some pretty fucked up stories, some really unbelievable challenges sometimes. But I do believe, today I can say this as a man of faith. I believe that, those challenges serve the greater purpose, and they are opportunities for us to discover what's within us, right? You don't know how strong you are until you push yourself more.
Did you see my comment right before I jumped on the panel about how everybody worth admiring has been through hell? That's the hero's journey. Yeah,
I didn't.
That's the whole thought, I guess. That's all.
I didn't see that comment, but that's something I learned. Who was that? Is it Joseph Campbell? Something like that?
That what?
That wrote about that.
The hero's journey?
The patterns of
Wasn't it Young? I thought it was Young. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Someone before us. But we are on these heroes' journeys. We descend at different points and in different ways in our life, but I think that's for the purpose of strengthening. We have the free will. We can quit. We can, allow the burdens and the weight of life to close in, and we can create all sorts of reasons not to do what we want.
I think that suffering is essential for growth. I don't know. Feel free to oppose me, anybody who disagrees, but I don't think that anybody would grow at all in comfort.
Well, how about this? I do agree there is a place for all things, but I think it is not our place to create suffering. It's our place to try and end suffering.
I would agree with that. Definitely, I don't think it's our place to create suffering and be like, here, fuck you, it's for your own good and growth. But it's just a perspective on it. I do think that,
I think a better way to kind of phrase it would be resistance. If we think about going to the gym, we don't necessarily equate it to suffering, but you got to put resistance on the bar and push on the resistance to outcompete the resistance in order to move forward with the growth, muscular growth, the same way like a rubber band would have to be pulled back into a resistant state to be snapped back forward and have forward movement. So you could kind of see how, I get what you're saying, that we look oftentimes observe resistance and it feels like suffering to us. But that's, I think, more of a healthy place to kind of sit with the narrative, like away from how we want to characterize it. These are just various forms of resistance, even slavery, right? Rights, freedom, and principles, and the law, God's law. There's a resistance, right? A worldly system. So till you push that resistance, you're not going to get the growth. It's that simple.
Amen.
And the entire universe works on resistance and potential.
How about this? I'm sorry. Go ahead now.
No, I was going to say that I think those opposing resistance or avoiding it are on the loser's journey instead of the hero's journey. Instead of embracing the call to adventure or facing the challenge and the abyss, rebirth, transformation, and then coming back with the elixir, they do nothing. They continue to do nothing. They fail at doing everything, but everything's just free flow, doing nothing. And you come back with nothing, and you have nothing to offer, as Jack famously says. What do you have to offer?
Well, it's real easy based on the ways of the world, and maybe even the patterns from our parents. I know this is true for those who raised me. It's real easy to ignore the hero's journey and just fit in, learn to conform, learn to, go unnoticed.
I don't think that it's something you have to seek out or actively engage. Suffering is going to find you. Nobody gets through life without it. It's just how you respond to it when it gets you.
Amen. Suffering happens, but the key I've learned for myself is, the emotional pains. They're natural. We go through them, but the pain is only as deep as we allow. And it only continues as long as we want it. So we can heal ourselves when we choose emotionally. Well, you know what? I don't want to speak for others because we're all on our own paths, but I believe that truth can heal a mind very quickly when that mind is open and willing to receive. But the willingness, man, dude, I don't know what to do there. Sorry,
I was just thinking, you said that there's somebody else that's doing this, that's talking with governments and stuff like that at this point that you see recently. Who was that?
It is the Stephen Greer.
So if he happens to be the guy that ends all wars and so on and so forth, what does that say for your path then?
Oh, fuck.
Damn, you beat me to it. You know, like what do you
say? Amen. Congratulations. Then I will find my time and energy and focus it somewhere else, you know?
Well, I don't know. I think a state of pure procrastination, allowing everybody else to do the job for me, I think I can live with that. Live with that.
Did you ever consider, like, just for the fun of the simulation, to, you know, again, push that boundary that we create for ourselves and others create? Did you ever think of considering what you would do exactly with your extra time, energy, attention, and care? If you put aside the end wars and legal secrets, because I'd be interested to hear that list. And then I'd be interested to play with the idea of focusing on that list and seeing how much better the results get for the first two or everything else.
Well, the thing is if any of my alternatives would work, it would lead me to the end goal. That's why I'm always focused on the end goal. But one of the things I wanted to do was be a public speaker, to be a coach. But so far, the trust, I haven't earned the trust of others. And so that hasn't happened. So if I'm a failure as a coach, my speaking is not wanted, I'll go live in the fucking desert or something. No, a beach. I'll go find a beach.
Why do you think that your speaking has failed? Just because the post office thing didn't go well doesn't mean that that's failed. It means that you went about it kind of rashly.
Well, no, so far, I don't know what to do if this pattern continues.
Well, that's the thing, right? We can't, while I will call people loser failure for the way they think, part of the loser failure way of thinking is generating a result as a failure. You've just generated a common result over and over, and that's an indication of a failure, but it doesn't mean you're a failure at it. It just means you have to change your approach.
It's a prerequisite to success is failure.
Right. We go back to 100 light bulbs that quote unquote failed before we made the actual success. So did the person fail 99 times, or they produced 99 results that led to success?
You know, here's the thing. Success and failure, like I said, there's states, there are perspectives, and just momentary states. It's an experience. But for me, my goal is to stay present and grounded and focused and positive each day. For the most part, I succeed every day. You know, there's documented case, proof that I'm obviously not perfect, but
well, Jack, I was driving to a job the other day, and I was behind a car that had a slogan on the back of it, and it reminded me of you. I showed it on the Unslaves panel. I think I'll show it to you if you allow me the permission to.
Please.
All right. Let's see. Can you read that?
Whoops.
Can you see that?
No.
Small dick, big dreams, Jack.
Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you.
I don't know if I'd say thank you for that. I can't. I'm not saying you should. I legitimately don't know how I would respond to that.
That's what I thought when I was behind him. But I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, he's right. You know, you have big dreams. Not you don't start with the package you want. I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
I believe.
Later.
Jack, let me propose again the simulation I proposed many times. They laugh at. Everybody needs to care for themselves on some level and make a living, right? Even if we're not of the world, we're in it. So what if like you start the End Legal Secrets coffee stand, right? Wherever you're at, where the most traffic. See, right away, he's too good for that. He's too proud. It's a big joke, right? But this is how it starts, right? You're making a living. You're talking to the people. You're getting better at speaking in public. You're working on yourself in certain ways. You're making connections, and you're serving the community. I don't care if it's a cup of fucking coffee. And they get to see Jack Talcott every fucking day.
Let me tell you why this is funny.
Okay? Go ahead. Maybe I misjudged it. I'm sorry. I love you, brother.
Number one, I'm not... You know how I stand about money. So creating a business for providing coffee, which I don't know anything about. So for me, that's not realistic, but I get the point you were making. What is funny, though, is one of the pastors here in town who I met long ago, he told me he would help me speak with my son again. He owns, as a pastor, he's diversified himself and made sure him and his family got, some businesses and fucking coffee roasting. Anyway, the guy doesn't have time for me, but he sure got time to fucking chase money.
Whoa, Talcott.
Yeah.
You have no idea what that man's life and lifestyle is like, and you're doing it again. You're like, that motherfucker's got no time for me, but he can roast coffee, huh?
I got a good idea that he's a man who promotes the church and he has no fucking clue about God.
All right. Well, I don't know, man.
That's the nature of churches.
He has
Talcott, we can't have a dysfunctional relationship with people, places, and things. Money is a thing. It's not even money. It's green paper that we exchange for other items, and we use our time, energy, attention, and service to get that. So it's not about the money. It's about the process to get to that. That's the value and the reward. The money is the extra reward that you need to exist with certain things. So I'm talking about an idea of success that starts ground up, provides for a place to work on the being, just even if it's getting your rap together. I don't mean producing some fake characterization of yourself or your narrative. I mean like getting so good at talking with people that you see the moves coming, right? And you know how to talk to each person, right?
This is what is complicated to accept, even for myself. I don't feel that's my purpose. I don't feel I have to sell. This is all God's plan, God's time. Each day I get up and I go within, I look around looking for inspirations. The coffee stand, that's a new idea from today, and I'll probably reflect later. But
damn it, Talcott, you're still not getting what I'm saying. This fucking panel is the same thing as putting up a coffee shop. Mm-hmm. You're not sitting there to fucking sell coffee. You're not even really selling anything. It's a place to build it, and they will come and have an interaction and be part of service. What you bring to that interaction is on you. It's nothing but time, space, and opportunity. So what's the difference between putting up a fucking panel on a metaverse where you can't even hold and touch somebody versus putting up a coffee stand and having genuine interactions and maybe creating something out of that? You never know, man. Hey, Paul, people don't see the miracle in what's possible. That's what it is.
I do. And amen. You're absolutely right. And so today, even though my energies were not in the right spot, I thought this is business. And so I showed up because I believe absolutely you're right. Shit can change like this, man. You get the right connections, the right message, you reach the right person. This world is changing. It is transforming quickly, and we are a part of it.
But that's the point, Talcott. You also have to understand charity starts within the home. Your power starts on the ground. If you're a loving, caring man truly, then you bring that to one person at a time. So, like, and I get it, you know, there's a part of us that has big dreams and big hope, and we want to accomplish a lot and have a legacy, you know, but it starts one person at a time. Just someone maybe seeing Jack Talcott somewhere every day, like they do here, just might brighten their day and make their day better, man. Right? If you could just be a part of that process, that's a great thing to be part of. Right? So you bring yourself out into the community. You don't focus on all the other bullshit. You say, here I am today, right now. I'm serving my community. I'm liking how I feel and what I'm bringing to the table. And if you focus on that stuff rather than how much you're making, where you're at, what you're selling, like you said, that's the after effect from what I've seen in my own life. The being has a value that they could bring to any venue, and the other shit will come, right? You'll be Talbucks with your own coffee shop at some point, having discussions with people who are of prominent nature, and you could have never seen it coming. Within 2 fucking years, it could happen. Not even a year. My whole situation changed. So I know it's possible, right? And I see the process to get that.
This is part of it. And Paul, thank you. What you're offering, those are confirmation of where I was at earlier. That if I come out here and if people are counting on the predictability and consistency, and if there is someone who receives a little smile, a little brightening in their day, well, golly geez, that's my purpose, and that is what I hope to do. And
that's my point. What if the majority of motherfuckers come here just like they would anywhere, not to end legal secrets and wars, just to be part of Talcott's experience and then brightening their day, even if it's in a goofy way, right? There's so much power in that you could bring to any venue if you would know that's where your power is. Instead of going out there with all these people who we're tired of. We don't want to fucking deal with Klaus Schwab. We don't want to deal with these scum. Right? We're open to it, but we really don't want to. And we believe in what we see is they're not open to dealing with us because they don't have the same motivations. I question most folks around here's motivation completely. What do they really want? Right? Beyond what they say.
I think most don't know. Honestly.
Wow. Well, they seem to know when you put it in front of them. When Antoine shows up with a big bag and his nutsack, they all seem to find out real quick what the fuck they want and don't want, huh? So that must have been there coming into it. You know what I mean? On some level, we got to be real with ourselves and each other and then figure out the way that we're going to get there. So find out what it is you want. More importantly, what you need. You focus on getting what you need. You get what you want. That was an old song back in your day, right? We already know the rap.
Yep.
Can't always get what you want. Try sometimes you get what you need. If you focus on personal growth, accountability, responsibility, authenticity, and service, cultivating a servant's heart. The product or the service is an additive to that. That's how we make a community. We wouldn't have motherfuckers taking the trash out, right? And that's why now they got a robot that comes and pick it up and the person just drives. Because people hate their fucking life anyway, and they damn sure ain't going to be able to find any kind of purpose or meaning picking up trash, so they think. If they could, their life would be next level.
Brother, yes. The key is service. That's what Wes was saying earlier, too. To get out of your head, fucking find a way to serve. And he said something, though, you got to fill yourself up first. I think it's a combination. You can't let your lack be an excuse for not helping someone. And I tell you, that is the best feeling. When you get out of your head and into the life of someone else, being able to help them out.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's the the payoff is like if you're a trash man, when you're doing the stuff for the old lady and she's busting your balls and hey, I don't have to do this, but I'm going to go out of my way. And then on Christmas or whenever, like, a few times a year, she hands you an envelope full of cash. It's not about the cash. It's about knowing you went above and beyond with service, and that is appreciated. And even if it's not, you did something the rest of the slaves who pick up trash can't or won't do. which is find purpose and meaning in anything in life on life's terms, even if it's picking up trash. So if you can find a way to enjoy that or find purpose and meaning in that, in anything in life, and know where your power is, you're never going to have a problem. That's what Wes Watson talks about learning in jail. Jail's the place you may need to learn it because you got no other option. You can learn to find purpose and meaning and peace in jail. You can find it anywhere, and then you're going to find success.
That's where I had to learn it.
How about this? Learn from those who went. Okay. So you don't have to take that hard path, but recognize the value in what's being offered. This idea of shit, you said something that got my mind going.
But Jack, this is the point. How do we know that solitude is not one of the preemptive factors for complete awakening into an action space? Right? I'm not saying motherfuckers got to go to jail, but it's solitude. The root word is soul, light. How do you expect to be the person you need to be to bring back to the world and give that away in a sense? If you're never with yourself and learn to manage yourself and deal with yourself and know yourself, as they say. Amen. You know, so I think everybody needs to fucking disconnect from all this shit, go out into the middle of nowhere. Like you said, when I first thing I asked you, we get right into the subconscious, which is, folks could argue, driven by God or the devil, I guess, at times, depending on where we look at it from. But I said, what besides legal secrets and ending wars would you do, number 3? And right away, your thought was, that bubbled up to the conscious, was go out in the middle of fucking nowhere and be with myself. Right, there it is. So you're riding on the donkey, looking for the donkey, when number 3 on the list is number 1 of what you need. And you're going to do number 1 and 2 to avoid number 3, which has to be number 1 to get number. You see what I'm saying? The other one's done. You get what I'm trying to say with that?
Yes, I get it. But
you got to reprioritize is what the fuck I'm saying.
Listen to this, though. I've already spent the past 5 years in the isolation, filling myself up. Okay.
Was that chosen isolation?
Fuck no. I fought it.
Okay, and there's a difference between isolation and solitude. Isolation is when you're in an alienated space. Solitude is when you're choosing a walk.
Right. I recognized I can either feel isolation and solitude and loneliness. It's a fine line, and loneliness brings fucking misery and sadness. Solitude, man, that brings bliss. And once the bliss of solitude has been realized, man, it becomes addictive. You don't want to go back around people again.
I don't know if I believe that. That sounds. I don't even understand what the difference between the two is, but I do think that, like, if you have faith, I think that things come through other people, right? And like, I agree with the coffee stand idea, but in my mind, it wouldn't even be about providing service. It'd be about just interacting. If you let the interactions happen, if you have faith, right, then where you're supposed to go will be provided for you. You know, I wouldn't want to sell coffee either. I certainly didn't want to go to a temp agency daily when I got out of jail, after having, been the regional vice president of a bank prior to that. But just have interactions. It opens doors.
Yeah, but the point is that being the regional manager of a bank is like my fucking nightmare.
It was terrible.
You can make judgments on me selling coffee when I'm Talbucks 3 years in, or the equivalent of, for my fucking community, right? I have such low standards, again, like they tell me on here. If I get to $100, $200 a day, I'm thankful, grateful, and blessed. If I'm doing something I can find a way to love, no matter what I'm doing, and I'm making a living and providing some kind of service, and I'm having authentic interactions along the way, and or just learning about myself and my inner space, then I'm winning, right? Because again, I want the ability to say I'm not taking that money from the B system, then benefits and privileges. I can at least say I'm responsible for myself, what I create. I live within my means, and I don't need anything from anybody. Isn't that the point of getting fuck you money? Right? Everybody wants fuck you money so they can eventually say, I don't need nobody for nothing. Government, go fuck yourself. Right. These people, go fuck yourself. Right? I'll do whatever the fuck I want. on my time, and I have little to no consequences. And as long as I do what's true and what's right, nobody could say nothing. You can't take nothing from me.
Well, you can do that without fuck you money.
Right. That's my point.
Yeah.
That's what we've learned, I think. See, and I actually think maybe I'm naive, and I don't care either way, but I've been wondering, what does the future bring? Well, I've looked at my past, and it's been a variety of different things. It's been a pretty fun and crazy story so far. And now that I have faith and I'm like living honestly and purposeful and with good intentions, I think God might have been preparing me for a life of abundance. And the laws of the universe, those are real. No one has, I've not been able to.
But why are you trying to read God's mind and see what's around the curve if you live in with faith?
Well, I just live right now.
Mm.
But I know in the future the value I have, because I know God's been preparing me for something. And it's more than just fucking sitting around here, or, you got the idea going. There is something I can do more to increase the number of conversations I have, the frequency. So
bring on a hot chick to co-host with you.
Dude, that would require someone.
Talcott, are you fucking kidding me, bro? You guys just don't have the fucking vision that I have. And it's so simple. Talcott coffee stand with the right pictures and theme is going to be the hottest fucking broadcast you've ever seen. Right? And no one's going to know why. Why the fuck is anyone watching Talcott at a stand on the side of the road selling coffee? Because it's going to be fascinating to hear you talk ending wars and legal secrets to just random people walking up while you serve them coffee, and it's Talbucks. And then I'm going to have a picture of you with your feet up like the Starbucks lady, like Semiramis, while they're doing sorcery and mockery on everyone. I mean, are you kidding?
Holy cows, man.
You're going to tell me you wouldn't, the same way you now are excited to do the 5:30 broadcast. When I first brought up, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll reflect on it and think about it. I go, fucking Tal. Now I'm Talbucks. I'm about to call you Talbucks. Daddy Talbucks. Talcott, show up every fucking day. Do it 28 days. You'll create a new habit for yourself and everyone else. Now you can't do without it. Right? You may need your time off from here and there to recollect yourself and reflect, but you created a habit for yourself and you want to show up here. No matter what the fuck happens, you get value. The same thing would happen with that. And motherfuckers would sit right here and watch you sell coffee and be like, I can't believe I'm watching this shit. Why am I still here? Yeah, and I'll take another 40 viewers away from my own audience giving you ideas, because that's what I do.
If we convince that pastor to talk to me, there's the stand, there's the inventory. I'll just work as an employee for him without charge, put on the broadcast we got opportunities, man.
Fuck a pastor.
If you can multitask, because you see Brian O'Shea, he goes to talking about nonsense and can't even screw a screw into the drawer he's working on.
He's so
you got to be able to fucking multitask.
I used to be good at that.
Like, I could throw the earpiece in and probably do a half-ass broadcast, just bullshitting with the people and dropping things here and there and maybe letting other people mix in and kind of monitoring that while I'm doing my thing. So, and if you have other people to kind of lean on up here, maybe you just do an hour of it. You open the thing or you do it for whatever the fuck the opportunity is. A few hours a day here and there, just to get your feet wet, and then do more and more if you could find a way to be comfortable with the parts of it. Right? And then, say, hey, I'm going to stream it. I have a new idea for a broadcast about nothing, like Seinfeld, right? It's just Talcott's coffee stand, and I'm going to find value in that.
You could do whatever, like if you, any business that you already have the resources on hand for. Like the first time I ever started a YouTube channel, it was actually so I could tax deduct the items I was reviewing, and I could take a loss on my YouTube business. So.
I'm pretty sure you just admitted openly to tax fraud. So our specialist will be contacting you for
like that year because I was in jail. So come at me, IRS. Get nothing.
Oh man, I don't know. Hey, it's 2 hour mark though, and I think that's a good point. I'm feeling complete.
Well, you're not.
I can't believe you're about to check out when I'm now running through names of different types of coffee selection. The Love You Brother brew, and you just, I love you, brother. And then you get to hear people say, can I have a large Love You Brother brew? I don't know. We'll work on it. We're brainstorming.
Amen. I don't know. What is the future going to bring to us, though? Seriously.
Talcott, what are you going to bring to the future? That's the question. You're asking the wrong questions all the time. That's why you're not getting the answers.
Coffee, if we're lucky.
Right.
Well, no, I know what I want to bring to the future, what I intend to bring to the future. I just don't know how or what it'll look like. But we are a unique part of history. Humanity as a whole, but I think this little collection of this community, this neighborhood.
All right, here's the next one. We're just gonna spice it up a little bit because this is fucking gold. I don't care what anyone says. They're gonna say, "Here goes Paulie being puerile and immature." Talcott's sex toy convention, right? And it's nothing but Talcott selling various sex toys to deviants and miscreants. How could that not be fucking fascinating?
Massage parlor. I think a massage parlor would be a nice segue into that industry, especially since that one time when he was going on about, how God wants us to feel good in our bodies and shit.
Dildos to go.
What's that?
Dildos to go. It's
dildos to go.
No. Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough.
I just want to be clear, brothers and sisters. The first 10 to purchase get a free rabbit stimulator.
All profits go to ending war.
No.
Dildos for peace.
Oh.
Yeah, Jack, I felt compelled to mention, like you often say that you feel like you're meant to be a leader or that you're meant to lead. You should know that in itself is not automatically a good thing or a divine thing. Like there's lots of leaders out there leading people right straight off the cliff to their own deaths, into slavery and demise. Just being a leader, amen, isn't a good thing to aspire to.
Kind of a headache too.
That makes no sense.
It does make sense. How many famous people in history have led people to their deaths, doom, misery?
That's gonna be one of the. That's gonna be one of the flavors. One of the roasts. It's gonna be come out of your confusion. Like I need that blend for the morning time to get me going. To come out of your confusion.
Yeah, I just felt compelled to mention that.
Right. So wobbly.
Aspiring to that is like wide open.
Wobbly. Right. That just revealed about you. Okay. And here's what I just learned about
You're so fucked now. You're so fucked.
Kick the dog.
This is what I just learned about you. You have found an excuse. You don't want to be a leader. You probably prevent yourself from rising to positions of leadership because you think leaders are corrupted. So that's a partial truth.
Sorry.
But go ahead.
Not all leaders are bad. I'm just saying that leadership is a wide open thing. There's lots of leaders that are bad. There's lots of leaders that are good, but that is a wide open.
So you're saying Jack Talcott's bad in a way, indirectly.
Yeah, basically I'm saying you suck and couldn't lead.
Okay, but what besides your opinion and your excuse not to become a leader, why do you think that applies to me?
No, it's a statement that you're aspiring to something that's wide open, vapid, nefarious, and pointless. You got no focus. You're saying, I want to be a leader. I know I'm a leader. But you're going to lead what? You're going to lead who to where?
Wobbly, that you find that funny is...
It is kind of...
It's fascinating to me, actually, that you find that
ironic,
funny.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
You can't imagine what a good leader can accomplish.
Oh yeah, no, I see leadership all the time. I see it happen in a good, beneficial way. My point to you is that merely aspiring to be a leader doesn't give you any focus, any divine path. It doesn't give you anything good to look forward to.
Sure.
And I want to lead people. Where?
No, hey, Wobbly. No, wait, whoa. To present this the way you're presenting it, yeah, it's kind of funny, but it reflects on you. Because I'm not saying I want to be a leader. No, I've explained this multiple times in many different ways. My life, my past experience has included many opportunities for firsthand, learning on the go, learning in leadership positions, and also the benefit of mentoring and instruction and all sorts of wonderful lessons to develop me into a better human being. And you know what? Good human beings are those who could be followed. You want to follow the good people because those are who we want to be leaders. Now,
so what you were saying earlier was that my choice to not be a leader, to not even try to lead people, is somehow a deficiency in my nature. Is that your point?
Is that how you interpreted it? I didn't hear that.
Is that what he was saying?
I think that's what you heard. I didn't hear
Seems like you're imagining disagreements.
Yeah,
which is something we've seen a lot.
Oh, so you were agreeing with me, Jack. Sorry, mate. I had it all wrong. Thank you, Flo.
In fairness, I probably do see that as a bad thing.
Well, I think that's what you were trying to say, and Flo Hate was trying to misinterpret what you said to make it sound like something else, to make me sound like I didn't get it.
Well, no, so I answered that.
A fucking airhead. Sorry, Jack, I'm listening.
When I offered the observation that I believe, based on your opinion of bad leaders, I believe you have prevented yourself from becoming a leader.
Yeah, I've chosen not to lead people at all.
Well,
have you been offered leadership roles that you've turned down?
Regularly.
Regularly?
Regularly.
Why would you turn down? I mean, are you incapable, or you're not to be trusted?
No, because generally you get offered leadership positions, whether they're real salary paying jobs or just a group of people say, we want you to set this up and do this for us. And I say no a lot of the time.
Hey, brother.
Yeah.
Working a glory hole isn't typically considered a leadership position.
Oh, I thought it was.
Taking the lead on that cock.
This is where you say blowjobs, Jack?
Blowjobs? No. Now there's an offer I can't refuse.
You guys are fun, man. I tell you.
I don't want to lead people. I want to lead me. And I want to discern.
Hey, Wobbly. Here's the reason I do want to press and kind of challenge you on that.
Yeah,
okay?
I love it.
The opinion on the facts, and you're right, there's examples of good leaders, poor leaders. You know what would be a good leader, and you know what would be a bad leader. I believe our world needs leaders. Okay, so the only thing that would prevent you from rising into a position, and here, a leader is just one, not necessarily directs and controls, but one that
responsibility.
It can be, if that's what the moments require, but to me, the leader just has a different perspective of the information, of the direction, of the purpose. Maybe an ability to organize and bring out the talents, or we each have our own methods to lead. And when we lead ourselves into greater things, our world needs that. And if you have the ability Don't be selfish. If you can share your talents and your abilities in a worthy, a fair exchange for time and talent.
Well, people are knocking on his door for him to be their leader, and he's saying, no, I don't want to. So he's got them already.
That's kind of where I'm thinking. And my question would be, God, what am I to do? What is this, a temptation or is this an opportunity?
That's a fair point, that I may be leading by saying to people, I choose not to lead anyone. And they think, oh, actually, that's a good idea.
Fair enough.
There's a concept there. I should explore it. So I'm leading all those people into thinking about not leading. But really, I probably should have another look at that glory hole job. I don't think that's actually a management position.
It's hard to keep people there in that position.
Mm.
Well, I was just about to wrap up.
Snaps.
And this might be the perfect reason.
Oh no, not this creature
Nubs,
again.
why does he hate you? Why do you hate Nubs?
What he's offered me.
Well, Jack, Nibs is a dishonorable man, Jack, because he came on here and started a whole fight to bring up how you owed me four-ply, and then he jumped out the window and said he was going to give it to me for some reason. I never asked for any of this. Then he never did it, Jack.
Shit, you're right. I've been busy.
No. You tried to say Jack Talcott. Well, I don't even want it now. I don't want your dirty contributions, peasant. You insulted the head of Talcottia, who has contributed in various ways. You tried to make him look like a dishonorable man.
Well, he is a dishonorable man, but nevertheless, it doesn't take much to try.
You're completely missing the point, Nubs.
When it comes from your point of view, generally I miss the point about 95 to 100%. Yes.
I see why you and Nubs don't get along now.
He's in denial and he reacts to the
Hold on, did you put him in the back now?
No.
Hold on, Jack. Oh, no, well, Jack, why do you got to let it go a little bit? I mean, people, I told you they enjoy.
You can't
Jack,
be
you know how
tyrant.
you see how Antoine works. He's not going to get in his feelers and kick people. Well, until they back him down like I did. Then he kicked me that one day because he couldn't respond anymore to my rapid fire critique. But, you can back down Nibs. You drag him around the room. He's not a threat to you.
No, I know. But he's really, you know what? Not before, since he's here, and I assume
bring him back in and have your way with him. The people loved when you guys interact because he gets the best out of you, Jack.
I don't, and this is what's wonderful, is that I don't have to allow him into my life.
You don't have to, but there's value in always finding a way to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, Jack.
But it's not value for me, and I am disappointed because he made quite a show about making sure he was going to make sure Daddy Paul received some fiat, and now find out you didn't even do what you said you were going to.
I totally forgot.
Totally forgot.
Claim I lack honor when you bring excuses.
Right.
Yep, excuses like owning and operating a business and not just up here, like yourself. People have other priorities and everything like that, and that money eventually I'll be able to have a moment to breathe to send that money out.
You're implying that broadcasting isn't a real job.
I did not imply that broadcasting is not a real job. It's absolutely a real job. That's why I'd be willing to pay for it. But what I am saying is,
you're saying it's not essential. No, we got it. Me and Jack got it. What we do is non-essential, right? What you do is very important. So when you finally get the time.
Well,
so it's been 2 months now. So in 2 months, maybe another by what, fucking Christmas, Jack? Nibs will get down. I didn't even ask for any of this. He brought it up to try to I don't know, grandstand about how much money he's making. He goes, yeah, I'm fucking doing great over here with the help of Paulie Boy. Now he's promoting me, making all types of promises. Then he's using running a business as a reason he can't keep his word. So what if I needed a fucking job done? You can tell me, hey, I'll be there in 6 months to come through on that word. Come on now, Nibs creature. That's not how that all works.
Dude, I'm going to have to go back and give this some thought, but I recognize this in myself. What our egos do, we take our responsibility. Instead of being grateful for it, we use it as a fucking excuse. So
that's just what Nibs does.
His business, that's an honorable venture, be the boss, but he's using it as an excuse. So let's be realistic. I don't know how the method of fiat transfer would be accomplished, but what are we talking here? Maybe 25 seconds? Maybe a minute?
How much money are we talking here?
You can't come up with 1 minute and want to blame your blessings of a business. If your business is that much of a burden for you that you can't share a minute, 2 minutes to number one, follow through with your words, and number two, share some more appreciation.
Jack, this is all about you being a dishonorable half-ass wit.
I think we found his calling, though. Jack is supposed to be Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction.
I'm what?
Supposed to be Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction. Collect loans and preach at people while you fuck them up.
Right. Hey.
Except Jack would have to be able to fuck people up.
Have you followed through yet?
Have you followed through? Because I do believe that it was your agreement with me for $100 that was supposed to go to Paul in the first place. And yes, the business is a vital excuse. Absolutely. When you work about 60 hours a week, give or take,
how many hours
it does wear on you.
Hey, Nibs, how many hours a week do you work on being a dumbass?
Only when I'm around Jack.
Full time. That's a full-time venture.
I don't think that's considered work, though.
I bet that comes pretty natural.
Right. Yeah. Not much work to even do.
Nubs, you have an irritating personality. And
do I, Jack?
Very unlikable.
Well, it's like irritating.
Is that the same personality that other family members of yours have had? I'm just wondering if it's across the boards type deal, or is it just against me specifically?
I was discussing you. What are you talking about? Are you deflecting, trying to flip the script, so to say?
No, I'm just looking for clarity. If it's just a general hatred towards Nubs, or if it's a general hatred towards people that would potentially keep you accountable. Because I do remember yesterday you were talking shit on Paul yesterday. Talking about how he was this, that, and the other thing. I can't quote anything specifically, and I don't want to misspoke.
Right. I wasn't talking shit. You bring no specificity. You're an ignorant dumbass.
Okay.
I was talking about you.
Ignorant dumbass. Is that what you've got? Ad hominems, Jack? Is that what you've got?
Nope.
Are you going to threaten me?
Nope.
Oh, no.
Your behavior on it's recorded. I don't have to do shit. The truth speaks for itself. And you're wrong about me, Nubsy. And your excuses are illogical, irrelevant, and they fucking insult yourself.
Okay,
that's
is that
almost
why
better.
You throw
That's
me out?
almost better putting him in the back and then dragging him back out.
No, it's not that he puts me in the back. He literally kicks me out the whole way.
Yeah, don't do that. That's he can get a little bit of both. You can get the best of both worlds, where you throw him in the back, drag him back out.
All right, I'll play along for a little bit, but that ban is so
it's tempting. It's very tempting.
It's in red too. It's like, call me
I'd have to constantly convince Talcott if he ran a land to not kill people. He'd be like, hey, brother, that guillotine is calling out to me. I go, Jack, not again. It's the 100th time this month.
That, but Talcott's worse.
Oh, infinitely. He's tired. He's had it. He's had it with everyone.
It was so like he's natural too.
It's that postal career.
There might be something there.
I don't know
what do they do to you guys at training at the post office?
Dude, they pay you well to brainwash you.
You don't want to know.
I'm serious. I
remember you acid and put you in sensory deprivation and waterboard you and.
Let's just say it involves a goat.
Oh fuck.
No. They just give you a lot of rules and tell you all those rules are really important. And it's really important you remember all those rules. And it's really important you make sure everybody else knows all those rules and they follow those rules.
It is a cult.
Yes, it is. Our government and the employers, dude, they
look at us agreeing on shit, Jack.
There is a religion of the Postal Service in the employees there. There's people who fucking worship their employer.
What a silly religion.
How many? I bet there's
it is a very silly religion.
Many people worship their jobs, worship their businesses. Does that business own you or do you own it, Nubs? 60 hours of your time in a week? Man.
Yes, that's what happens when you're the business owner and you have to make sure that the oil gets changed and, you know, parts on the truck get oiled and greased and doing all the things that it requires.
The bookkeeping, license.
Oh, yeah, Nibs. Like everyone else who does Uber doesn't have time to send a transfer, right?
It's DoorDash.
Yes, yes, DoorDash.
You got to make sure the parts are lubed and the oil's changed.
Hey, Nubs.
And the tires.
Hey, Nubs, how about I throw you in the back until there's a transfer confirmed?
Oh, no.
I told you.
That's an original one. That is
You're
original.
A gangster, Jack. That's what you are.
Well, I'm just thinking that would
Jack, you're thinking?
Here, I'm just creating an opportunity for you right now, Nubs, out of respect. You've had such a busy schedule lately. You've been so burdened.
Right.
But here, I'm just encouraging you and creating the space. Just focus your time and energy. Follow through with your words. Become an honorable man. Send the
Nibs, you don't come to this panel and talk to a man like Jack Talcott like that.
Anyway. Just go post. Hey, I did, as a union leader, I consciously did try, many of us tried to consciously change the reputation of what it means to go postal. There's actually postal employees, they're all across the nation, and they come across people in some of the most bizarre and drastic situations.
Did you try to take the phrase back, like the N word was taken back, or maybe?
No, but the idea was to try and become a better representative in the community. Hey, welcome, brother.
How are you, Jack?
I feel blessed. I do feel blessed. Although I need to take a break or shut it down soon.
Take a break, and Nubs, you can come back and work on Nubs a little bit more after you're feeling a little fresher.
Hey, Nutsy, how you been?
Hey, is this a collection of honorable fathers over on the left-hand side of the panel?
What about me?
I've never heard that you were a fuck up as a father.
Let me just say that the Paulie, sir, please, sir, please. The Paulie Walnuts hairdo is looking absolutely fabulous.
It's the most.
Right.
I put a lot of moose in there.
Oh,
it looks like the balding.
So the moose creature has sent you over some kind of liquid to put in your hair, is what you're saying? I know you're fond of it.
Mary.
There's a lot of hold with that liquid, huh?
High volume.
A lot of firm body. Got it.
Oh yeah, body is firm, man. Check this out.
That's the whitening. That's the whitening appearance on the hair.
See that, man?
The lack of hair on top would indicate the testosterone dropping much more than your little muscles.
Testosterone dropping, nutsy.
The extreme lack of
nutsy.
The extreme lack of entertainment ability would explain the numbers dropping as well.
Look the numbers. I'm entertained.
Nutsy, do you play for the other team, Nutsy?
Why would you ever ask another grown man like that unless you're attempting?
A grown man? You're a grown man,
unless you're attempting. Yes, I'm a grown father.
A grown father. Yeah, you sound like a grown father.
Do I?
Yes, you do. Nuts.
I think Jack just stuck his head in the blender. Jack, don't do it.
Welcome to blender now. I probably just scraped some skin off the top. He'll be back bleeding.
Brothers and sisters, I've decided to puree my scalp.
Seemed like a good idea.
Hey, Nutsy, did you buy that face cream from Antoine?
Why would I go to another man for something that I can do myself?
Well, I figured you probably could do it yourself by the way you sound. You probably use a lot of face cream, a lot of other things, Nutsy.
Yep, I'm very proficient in the herbs.
What does that mean exactly?
Are you attempting to insinuate something?
Oh, no, I'm not insinuating. I'm telling you what I think you are.
Okay, and your reference point is what?
You know what my reference point is, Nutsy. You know what it is.
Facts.
Why are you speaking in that way? That's rather disturbing.
Did he used to do that to you,
Paul?
I'm just
when you were young.
You. I'm just imitating
Yeah, this
you,
is why
Nutsy.
I think that I and Brian O'Shea were switched at birth. His mother, pretty funny.
Where is O'Shea? I got something for him too. Where is he?
I bet you do.
He'll probably be excited about it. He seems like the sort of dude who likes abuse.
Jack, don't let Nutsy.
Yeah, I'm starting to think you're Brian O'Shea's father.
Oh, I could be.
Extreme lack of material in this rap.
If he was my son, I would take him out of the car, though. You know, living, around the world.
So you abuse him?
Car. I abuse him? No, I'd help him. I'd help him, Nuts. Jack,
well, think about the car. Where would you put him?
Don't let Nutsy step all over you, man. Look at that face. God almighty.
I know. I feel bad for him.
Well, I do too. I feel very bad for him.
None of us believe that.
Well, the pity crew from the excellent fathers over there, I'm not too concerned.
I'm not too concerned.
Hey, Nubs, when was the last time you beat your kids or your wife?
Well, I think I'm going to say something else.
Never.
How long ago was it?
Never.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, I was out with my son just today working, spending time with my child. Have you spent time with your child lately?
No.
Jack, when was the last time that you spent a half an hour with your child?
What business is it of yours?
I'm just curious.
Oh, it's here?
Right. And who are you to me?
Oh, he's Nibs.
Who are
Hey,
you
Nutsy.
to me?
I'm Nibs.
Why should I answer any questions of you? What makes you think you have a right to even have an opinion of
What
me?
makes you think that you have a right to ask me if I have a right?
Because
the
you're
same
on my
question
panel,
could be asked.
dumbass.
We could go back
Hey,
and forth.
dummy. Hey, dummy.
Obfuscation to different.
Right. What is
Okay.
your point? What is your purpose? Why are you in
My purpose?
experience?
I don't know.
Why are
Maybe
you
it's to
asking me
challenge
about
you.
my son?
Maybe it's to challenge you.
Why?
I don't know. Haven't figured that part out yet.
Why are you asking me about my son? Now that I'm thinking about it, I am getting a little pissed off. So what is your fucking intentions,
Well,
douchebag?
pissed off or pissed on? I'd rather be pissed off than pissed on. So,
Oh boy.
Answer my question. Explain yourself.
well, why do you have? Well, who are you to say? Explain yourself. Isn't that how it goes, Jack?
As a man,
I'm curious. When's the last time you spent a half an hour with your child? Because I'm curious to see what kind of leader you are. Because that kind of goes hand in hand.
Explain.
I just did. It goes hand in hand.
Dumbass. No, in your mind it does. You're asking me irrelevant questions, knowing the answer, knowing the situation,
knowing that it's not been for quite a while.
You are a heartless fucking demon.
Heartless fucking demon.
Oh, shit.
How is that I'm heartless?
Well,
Please explain.
I banned the wrong.
I told you to stay away from that damn button, and now you did it again. You gotta try to take it as a test and a challenge to go past it.
Nope, I did.
There's something to be gained there, Jack.
Hey, Paul. Here's something I know. I've allowed you a lot of room because I've seen a lot of talent and I've imagined potential with you and I having a friendship or even business relationship. Nubs offers me absolutely nothing. So I calmly and patiently allowed him to offer me disrespect like he continues to do. And he did, like a fucking demon, wants to seek out my soft spot, my sensitive spot, knowing the fact that a father like me deeply cares about his son.
Yeah, there's pain there. But that's the point.
Right.
But that's the point.
So he wants to trigger my pain for no fucking reason other than his enjoyment. And Paul, I know you do the same thing.
I do the same thing, but not necessarily purely because it's entertaining. Right. I am aware that it is that. Yeah. I also know in my own life, and I've watched in your life, that the more you're able to work through the trigger, the more you're able to take power back over the situation, because it's a reality. The reality is we have issues with certain women and children in our lives at times, and something has to change in us or in them or both for us to remedy that. So how do we take power back over that situation? By allowing him to question and bring up the quote unquote soft spot, and for you to learn how to have an answer for yourself and life on life's terms.
No. Here's the
Don't they bring up all of my soft spots,
Paul?
Jack? Don't they bring up everything? Paul? The dope, the woman I'm next to, whatever they see as a way to try to get to me, to trigger that ego and that insecurity. And I always have an answer and a way to move through it, don't I, Jack?
Yes, you do.
Do I ever run or fight from the words?
Would you please listen?
I love you, brother.
My purpose is to interrupt those patterns. Okay, just because you've been hurt doesn't mean you get to fucking watch me get hurt. Okay?
No.
Hold on. Here's what I see.
Oh man, you're gonna whip around on me now. Now I'm gonna catch shit. I am so fucked. I'm gonna catch shit now. I'm gonna catch shrapnel because you're in the mode of Hail Talcott. And Cop Flicks is clipping away.
Well, Paul, you are part of this. For the love of God, I don't.
We're in the now. Love doesn't keep records. We've had a great interaction all night, Jack. Don't do this.
Trying to get out of it, man.
I'm not trying to get out of anything. I'm bringing Jack back to his information that he lives.
Right.
Which is my information that I live.
I personally
I'm bringing us back to a unifying point.
He wears it well.
The unifying point is, for whatever reason, rather than try and help me solve that problem, help me start healing that, that relationship.
That's what I'm doing. You're not seeing you're not seeing the mysterious way that I work.
Heal the damage, the anger, the resentment, the guilt, the blame, those are in my son, in my ex-wife, in my former employer, in my union brothers and sisters, in my old friends, in my mother, in my father. I would love anyone to please consider joining me. Don't fucking keep telling yourself I need to be tested more than God has already tested me.
Jack, this is a self-test that comes up in other selves. It's something in all of us. The same way, it's about how we approach it. The same way Jennifer will start off, and this is very Zen master. I'm not equating myself to that per se, but it's the same idea. They start off going, why the fuck would you do this? This is sick and twisted, and why would you bring up these things? By the end of it, they're like, oh, thank you so much. You've shown me so much about myself, my dark side, my triggers, my sore spots, how to reconcile that, how to move out of the false strength ego that struggles for control to put people out and ban them, and just be in a flow state and be confident. I can't believe I have to use that term and now think of this guy's mug. Be in a flow state and be competent in any arena because you're out of your own way. You've never once seen me falter. That is the only reason anyone comes back, among other things, to listen to a gorilla in a trailer, right? Is they've seen everyone throw everything at me and I don't falter, and I always am response able, and I'm confident in my response because I know who and what I am and what I'm not, and I have a certain level of control over my inner space that I've had to work to get. It's like anybody else.
Paul, and I'm here while you've been living your life and I've been living mine. I believe I have learned some things that would help you. Okay, because you're not flawless in the way you receive all these criticisms, and
we're not talking about me. We're not talking about me right now. There could be a time for that. We were talking about you. You're evading accountability of your responsibility and putting it back on me. I'm not struggling in the area you're talking about.
Hey,
so why are we going to other discussions about things I may be deficient in, which you make a list? If you're only going to point out one thing, then you're missing something. I could bring up 10 more people and point out 10 more things they'll say I'm deficient in. So if you're going to do it, let's do it right. But that's not the conversation we're having right now. We're talking about you. We're talking about accountability and responsibility to triggers.
Whoa, see, and you're getting in this position where you're feeling the need to control.
No, I'm not feeling the need to control. I'm telling you
what the conversation is.
No, I'm telling you what my perspective on myself and life and other selves is, and I see the results in other selves in life and the reason for doing it and continuing it. If I didn't, I wouldn't.
Paul, let's come back to now in specificity, okay? I don't mean to challenge your performance or any of your methods. What I am suggesting is your discernment in me.
What is your
Can you mute my father? He's completely incompetent.
I saw that.
It might have been interesting. I'm that douche who listens to butt dials.
There's something in it. I'm not saying I am flawless, but I know for full well I am not responsible for the reactions and the accusations that I've continued to receive. Now, I claim to be on a spiritual path. I profess my faith and talk about God a lot.
I accept both of those.
Okay, well, Paul, like you said, people are resistant to accept what is true in the bad. People are also resistant to accept what is true in the good. And I don't know how to break the resistance because I don't know. This is where I think you and I could team up and figure out what to do with this.
Yeah, you have to have the patience. Remember your go-to mode. We can learn a lot about watching when we get that heightened arousal and what the trigger is. and what our response is. You'll always say, my patience is short now, so we have to become patient at pushing the resistance or developing some mechanism to not allow the resistance to wear down our patience, right?
Right. This is exactly it. This live without fear is learn how to relax. But I'm constantly, you've seen it, constantly faced with disagreements and resistance to almost everything I say. Now that is not me.
Yeah, I think at times it's a little bit of both. Just kind of reflecting on my walk, that there's something in my communication at some times, if it's not now, in my past, that wasn't making myself as understood as I could be to certain people at certain times. And then there's their projection, right?
And I can also add.
So other people misinterpreted.
No, I'm saying that. Hold on, what are we doing here?
For like an hour, flow state, did you not get everything out? Like, can I add for a second? Okay.
Well, go ahead, Tommy.
All right. So with Paul and Jack, I've had the same issue that Paul corrected sooner than Jack. Jack, you can sit here and say you're on a spiritual path all you want. You can attempt to teach or guide or lead. But as soon as you cite specifically you are here on behalf of a Christian God, I have to stop you right there. And even Paul saw it and diverted a long time ago from the whole Christed thing. He got it. And I need.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Don't make fault. Don't speak for me.
You're not sitting around.
Don't speak for me.
You're not sitting around.
I never sat around and did what everyone else does because they need to be seen as something. I spoke about what my experience.
In season 1, Paul, I said, please don't misuse the Bible quotes, whether you're supporting or bashing.
That's a subjective perspective. I will correlate my life and life experience to whatever I see in the Bible as I see fit. You can rebut it or not.
No, but when you speak on behalf of a long century established thing, you are wrong.
Listen, I think you're a fool if you hold to and defend the long standing established institution of religion that perverts the scripture, it would seem to me. Because again, we'll go thousands of years.
Individual path responsibility. It's not my responsibility for how you perceive it, but it's your responsibility to be putting out that you are anything related to a religious deity.
I didn't say. Listen, if we're in a universe and that universe is part of or working with the creative force, as you all say, Sky Daddy.
No, I say Sky Daddy.
Right. So I prefer to go even 1,000 years before, whatever it is, 1,500 years. You can't know the Tao, but you could be it. You could embody it. So I'm not saying that we're God. I'm not saying that man is God. I'm saying man can be what some would see as God-like at times.
But
which you could then
to the Jesus path, a man cannot serve two masters, and you use masters accordingly to your need in the moment. And that's what I had a problem with. Just like Jack can say he studies the Christ, lives by Jesus, reads the Bible, but as soon as he contradicts that, I have to say something. But he doesn't have to say that he's Christ living or Jesus following.
Okay. Thanks for your opinion. So what do we do now?
That's your show, man. I'm just saying, hey, I heard what you were just saying right now. I can clarify.
All right. I think
like if you are digging a hole, if you're digging a hole in your yard, you're fine. If you tell me you're headed to the moon, no.
So Tom, I got stopped traveling with no license, registration, insurance, and plates. That led to a whole bunch more interactions. And what I was marked for in that interaction was the loving, caring, and passionate vigilance with truth. You had someone come to your door. Don't let me fucking finish. This is why we've had so much. This is why we've had so much resistance in the past, because you're always talking over everyone.
No, our resistance is that you demand.
You didn't even let me finish the fucking point because you're so afraid of the second part that you know the bang bang comes. You know the 1-2's coming. You know how I set it up and knock it down.
I fear nothing,
You're
sir.
smart enough to know how I give you the 1, then the 2, and you're desperate to get away from the 2 you know is coming.
And you're not smart enough to know how
so
you've never won a goddamn
I'm
thing.
known for the first introduction being the most caring and kind and informative and vigilant.
For that.
You're not letting me motherfucking finish.
Jack, are you?
You can't even control your own inner space and button. Look at you tapping the button, tapping. You're doing Morse code now on the button because you can't control yourself.
Me, Paul. So you're muting
I'm not muting you. I don't. You're paranoid and desperate again. We're in a cycle. It was that quick.
I'm asking for clarification.
Jack is muting you because he, like I, is done with you talking over me.
You've been talking since I left.
You're trying to get me off balance and off base like Antoine did, and it never works. We're going to come right back to what I was fucking saying.
If I wanted you off balance, I'd say, Paul, stand up.
Hey, hold on.
Me standing up is not going to change. If you came around me and tried to pop off, you'd have a problem. You know it and I know it, and so does Snap. I've stood up many times and done way more than you bitch-ass motherfuckers running around town looking for drugs. Do I need to go on to C, D, E, and F?
No, you've said enough because
go on and just deflate
in
your
one
ego in front of the whole world over and over
again. Back to snafooing. That's what I'm showing you.
So you're known
right back to snafooing.
So you're known for whatever this is right now you're doing and telling the person, probably the mailman who knocked on your door, to fuck off and go away because you're such the arbiter of like a Christed beingness.
No,
so you
I live in a neighborhood where
you're talking
there's no
over me
reason
again. You're talking over me again. You're talking over me again.
Yes, I am.
This is your MO constantly. This is your MO constantly. Even when you say we're getting along and working with each other, you can't even have the back and forth flow.
Well,
hey,
what was happening?
Look at everybody leading into their hate tonight.
What was happening was what you were saying. He saw it coming. He wants to make the accusation and criticism of the Christed example, and just what you said, he's yelling at whoever knocks on the door like some fucking lunatic. And then did you hear immediately an excuse? Doesn't even want to consider the fact of how that could be correct. He was automatically jumping to an excuse and blaming his opinion.
On. I got to stand up for Tommy in his absence a little bit.
All right.
Paul did claim that he's known for the first introduction being the most loving thing ever.
That's where he got his. That was.
I understand. What is that bizarre tweaker look that you're giving everyone? We're all supposed to be knowing what you're saying. You're like, get it?
You
get it? We're like, no, we don't. The first video that I'm known for that got over 10 million views is me on the side of the road getting my rights deprived and still being loving and caring and kind and informative and unwavering. You missed something. Yeah, because you were too busy hopped up on Adderall picking your nails. So try to be more in a flow state. Be present and aware. Be present and aware.
Be present. Be present. It might happen occasionally.
No. You have a habit, sir. We're back to my assessment of you. If you got out of your own way, you would have already brushed up on this presence and awareness. You have a habit of not being present and aware, being selective in your narrative and your interpretations, and then remixing them all around town like a broken host state. So this is what causes it. These moments right here where you thought I said something, didn't fucking listen, then you're going to go say it all around everywhere and make yourself look like a dumbass. So I'm helping you and you still don't get it. Right? Do the Talcott hand now because you still want to act like a hoe. I'm helping you and you can't get out of your ego to get it.
No, thank you. You don't need to help me.
There you go. There's your ego. No, I do need to help you because I established at the beginning of this broadcast you have a pattern and you're doing it again now. You went like
this. That's fine. We were all supposed
to like agree with you.
I still don't
want it. You
want
jumped out the window, said something stupid, didn't listen to the first scenario.
I said I don't want
your
help, and you're like,
you're saying you don't want it, but it's clear to everyone you need it. Everyone but you.
Not when you're gonna see the patterns you believe are there. Okay.
No, that's not a pattern I believe is there. We were having a dialogue. He piped up, tried to be part of the conversation, said something stupid, made a stupid face, and thought it was relatable. That's why he has problems in his relationships. I would guarantee it. That's why he has a problem relating. Most people do because they lack presence and awareness of self and what's being said or done in the moment.
Well, yes. I don't know. I don't
have those problems. I'm very attentive, even off like 20 fucking blunts.
Flaws. We get it.
What about flaws? I don't have the same problems you do because I've looked at my flaws and you haven't. So you keep manifesting the same problem over and over again.
To see themselves without bias. Do you think that people can look at themselves and self-reflect without bias?
On some level, yes. I don't know if it's completely possible.
It is.
I'd have to leave. Well, we could both go, Jack, right? I could go and you could go. So I believe that it's possible, but I couldn't say completely because that would probably be the mark of a fool to say, I absolutely know that I've seen myself from a third-party perspective with complete self-awareness.
So it's possible that your interpretation or your perspective on yourself is inaccurate.
Right, but then there's results, right? Then there's results, and results are really hard to argue with because host state people like to argue and bullshit themselves and others. Then there's results like 10 years on panels and you being a loser failure and me starting a panel and revolutionizing a panel and having a whole bunch of haters and biters from panels. Yes,
that's a lofty word for what you do.
No, it's not, because you don't know the meaning of revolution, which means to go.
Okay, so what?
You didn't listen. You didn't listen. You didn't listen. I'd love to be resolute in my panel facilitation and have resolution. I have that sometimes. Usually, it's a complete circle. Revolution. So we go through light, dark, light, dark.
So you said
over and over again,
I'm
like
still
creation.
Stuck there confused about that. How did you revolutionize panels?
Well, I facilitated a space to bring the light and dark revolutionary process of the self and the world.
That's old news. That's nothing new. What else did you do?
That's old news and nothing new. Okay, well, it doesn't need to be because I'm here right now with you and we have results to speak from, our past, our present, and clearly where our future's going based on where we're at now.
And you've
done 10 years on a panel. You've done 10 years on a panel and you still can't keep up in a conversation you weren't a part of.
And I'm telling you that you didn't revolutionise shit if that's your example.
You didn't listen to what even my understanding of revolutionize means.
I'm going, please, okay? Where we are right now is a time to wrap up, okay? Because this is not the format that I want. The back and forth. I mean, I see both sides of what you guys are saying to each other, but golly geez, man. Paul, you do often lack self-awareness or awareness of the situation because you get into this pattern of overpowering. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're mistaken. You're mistaken. I don't lack.
Mistaken.
No, I'm telling you what. I'm telling you what it is from my perspective.
Please consider.
I've considered it. I'm telling you that I don't lose awareness of self. I'm so self-aware and aware of what I want to speak that I see as valuable. You could call it egoic or arrogant in comparison to what else is there. I just start speaking over other people. You're right. So that might be perceived as egoic and arrogant. But again, look at the comparison to who's.
Paul, thank you for your time. I wanted to end with a respectful conversation. All right.
You couldn't be able to get it done. Hey, sorry, I was talking to the audience.
Yeah, I know you were so like that. You want to talk shit about me? You
know? No, I'm commenting on my. I'm commenting on my experience. I don't need to talk shit. I'll tell you right now. If you don't stop touching the button, I could tell you to your face.
Yeah, say it, and then we'll see where.
Right. So you just said again what you wanted. See, I love when people keep saying what they want. They can never get. See, I usually get what I want.
I get what you want.
So why do you keep
me fucking negativity and talking over me? Paul, go talk to your panel. I appreciate the day, and hopefully we'll try again a different day. But fuck, oh dear, man.
How many days have you tried
panels? You didn't invent fucking YouTube. You didn't invent everything, and you're not the only reason that Jack has subscribers. You're not the only reason other people have channels. You're not the only reason other people. Fuck, oh dear. You want to take credit for everything and accept responsibility for nothing. Flo, you were right about much of what you were saying. It's the timing and the place.
Yeah. And I don't mean to have shit like this out here at all. I actually don't care about having it out with him really at all, because there's no point in it. It doesn't matter to me at all. But yeah,
I've gathered that the opportunity was there, and it was.
I just know what I'm dealing with when I'm dealing with it, right? And I'm not going to keep banging my head into a wall.
I have been praying for options. So please, if anyone out there knows of anyone who's willing to help me,
it's hard to figure out what you want.
Yourself. You got to do it yourself. No, you can't end wars. No, Jack, you just got to walk away from your family. No, Jack, you're a piece of shit because you don't have your family. You know what? Everyone's opinions, they can take them and stick them right next to their head up their ass. I don't know.
It's hard for me and I'm just going to comment as like somebody who's observed. It's hard for me to understand what it is that you want help with, because when I hear something as insane as speaking to the UN to end wars, I'm giving you this in good faith, right? I'm not trying to be insulting or anything.
I understand that, but seriously, the only thing I have been asking anyone to do is please investigate. Call my friends, call my family, find out what their fucking reason is. What did I do to lose every single person who I used to care about? What did I fucking do?
Well, at an outside guess, it might have been that you never ever listened to them when they're talking about facts and real things, real factual stuff.
Thanks for painting that narrative.
Yeah, how would he fucking know
that? Because that is what. You know what? Fuck off for painting that narrative.
How would he know that?
To be negative and to be wrong right in front of my face once again. Go ahead, Flo. What else you got?
Me?
Yeah, I was reacting still to Wobbly there, but
okay. No, I don't have it. I mean, I guess I don't know your situation, and I don't know. I feel like this is such a public venue and it's such a personal thing, you know?
Flo, here's what it is. I don't know for sure. I know God is using each of us, and we each got to find our way, find out what we're supposed to do, right? I don't know. Am I supposed to become perfect, flawless before anyone wants to try and help me?
No.
I thought maybe people might be willing to help me become a better man.
Jack, if you want to heal the relationship with your family, that is a goal that I would absolutely be happy to help you with if there's a way that I can. 100%. I just never heard you say that before.
I respect that. And please, many people have said those words, but I've talked about my results here in town openly. Here's what I wonder. My purpose, my greater purpose, is to share the truth of God's love with the world, to help people wake up to what is true, and what is true is love. Love is life. So I'm encouraging everyone to please talk to God. Talk to yourself as the intermediary communicator between God, and find out what God wants you to know. Because all I'm asking anyone to do literally is encourage someone to, hey, listen to Jack, or at least try and talk to him and find out what is going on. I've been trying to get that accomplished with Paul, with my son, with my union reps, my former employer, my ex-wife, my neighbors, my mother and my father, pretty much everyone I know. And then the numbers continue to grow. The psychiatrist who gave me the evaluation untimely after my career was ended and now still won't discuss his there's tons of people that were involved in my past.
Jack, might I make a suggestion? Just to look at it from a different perspective. You say people are staying away from you, and you said that in the past you went up against the government for all intents and purposes, and it led to a lot of trouble for you. Would it be possible that the people just want to avoid that kind of trouble themselves because the man is a bitch? And I don't know if you can blame yourself when you look in the mirror, what's wrong with me, what's wrong with me, what's wrong with me, as much as you can just say that fucking people might be scared of the consequence, especially with your lofty goals now. I know you want to end wars and you want to, stop secrets, but, people, when they think about that, that just draws more attention and trouble. That might be their disposition.
Now, to be clear, you showed up today with a background that says eat, sleep, vape, repeat. And we're supposed to take you and your presentment seriously at all?
Absolutely. The legalized cocaine one was sold out. I don't know if you got the last one. I have it on back order, though.
I bought them all, Paul, in case you were wondering.
I don't doubt it.
Hey, Paul. Thank you for your persistence.
Well, I'm sick and fucking tired of all the disrespect that's been offered here, Jack. I'm doing a bit of you now, I guess.
I know, I got it. Dude, I'm telling you, people's fears, whatever you said, Scott, yep. People's fears are exactly what cost me my career. People's fears are exactly what convinced my son to stay away from me. People's fears. I'm not responsible for people's fears. I've overcome my fears. And for those who might be willing, I have time and supposedly the experience, but I'm willing to help anyone.
Now, I could just do what everyone else will do and not say the obvious of what we just experienced, but I don't accept that you've completely gone past or mastered all of your fears in your inner space. There's still a fear of how you're going to, there's still a fear.
Really irrelevant thing to the goal.
There's still a fear of how you're going to be perceived either by yourself, others, with the whole family situation.
To some degree, to a small degree, that is true, because I freely admit I don't know what the fuck I need to do to change the results I've been receiving.
And this is why I told you that I've tried at times to contact certain folks and hear from them and try to establish an understanding, as painful and challenging as it might be, to whatever it is you're experiencing, to establish a narrative of what it is I've experienced with you, they've experienced with you, and try to find middle ground of understanding of how we remedy that, if possible at all. Right. I can't claim that it, I'm not going to make any statements that are not as accurate as possible, but I know that's what needs to happen. And again, right. I could surmise whether you accept it or not. You don't have to. No one has to do anything. I could surmise what some of their critique or criticism is going to be and some of the reason why they've lost respect and trust in you or with you.
Sure. Everyone's got fucking excuses.
I'm not asking you to, I don't need you to get angry, Jack.
Everyone's excuses, but here's the reality.
Just stay in the space of understanding that I care about you. That's the point. I can't have Dominic or anyone come into the conversation if you can't stay in the space of knowing that you all care about each other despite all the disagreements and baggage and history.
Dude,
we know that everybody has some level of care for each other. There's something that hasn't been reconciled, and some folks in the situation feel that it can't be reconciled. So if we could change that perspective, then we will have different results. But it's going to require that inner space. That's what I said to you from the beginning. I would do anything to help you as I perceive it as help. I will not enable as I perceive it, but I will help, right? Well, but first I have to see certain abilities in you.
Paul, bullshit. Here's the thing. If you
don't accept it then.
Hold on. If you can't accept that I'm worthy of a fucking conversation,
I didn't say you weren't. I didn't say that.
Hey, no, but that is the result. And what I've been seeing.
What I'm saying is I want.
Finish.
Well, can we clear up the statement you just made so you can have clarity and understand how I feel about you in the situation? The point is, it's not about a conversation. It's about a career. It's about the rest of your life with these people. I can't direct them back to a conversation that, when had, is going to lead us right back to where we started. There has to be a version.
Don't assume that then. That's your fucking problem.
I'm not assuming it. I'm not.
Paul, you are. Here's the thing, man. I see everyone making these excuses. You know, the reality here in my town, okay? Nobody can fucking convince themselves to make time for me. How is it that people who supposedly loved me, that I am still would be willing to die for, how is it they've not found reason for one fucking conversation in over 5 years? They can't find one fucking reason to talk to me? So here, I've got all these people wanting to make all sorts of excuses why I shouldn't receive help. And I'm saying, you know what? Fucking do what you want. This is an opportunity for anyone to join in my life in a good way. But everyone writes their own stories.
And I get that not everybody has the same level of care or application. And I'm not going to be disingenuous in saying that for whatever reason, this is not a normal situation. There's a bunch of things that bring us here and keep us here, right? And oddly enough, it may be content a lot of times that bring us here or keep us here, but that could be a good thing because we could get out of our own way. So I agree with you that maybe most folks or a lot of folks in your life or in life don't care as much as they should. That seems to be a common theme. But again, I have my own, and this is where you have to have a respect for me from what you've seen from me with other people, I guess. You either have it or you don't. I have my own interactions with you. Right. I have my own understanding of your reactions to things. It's happened with me. So I could see how that could be present with others and generate a result. They might just be afraid of, they might be afraid of aspects of you. And I want to clear that up for you and for them.
No, their fears are their fucking problems, and they've made their fucking problems my problem. So Paul, I want to address a couple of these comments because they're right in line with what you've been saying, right? People's fears. What about my fears? Okay. I didn't realize I was afraid of losing my son. I didn't realize I was afraid of losing my career or health benefits or my life savings. I didn't realize I was afraid of losing my home. I didn't realize how much strength I had inside of me. I didn't realize how much I was relying upon the approval of others. I faced many fears. I've including my tests of, am I still a fighter or am I a pacifist? So I've been tested, and I'm telling you, I feel I sleep well with a clear conscience. I have no guilt. I have no blame or shame. And you know this one. I'm very confused. I swear to God I am. The only logical explanation I can come up with is God. God allowed God allowed those who I depended on to become confused about me. And I know they love me. I know my friends and family love me deeply because I remember how I remember how we were. For whatever reason, and this is what I truly believe, they got confused. Rather than communicate with me, they started talking about me with others. And then all of a sudden they make up different conclusions about why this happened, why that happened. And then on top of that, I'm speaking against capitalism and the governments and religions. So everyone finds some reason to dismiss me and say that I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, everyone is not finding some reason. Everyone is having the same experience with you at some time.
Yes.
No, I don't think that's true. Everybody has an interest in one of those things you mentioned, right? If you attack on all fronts.
Flow State, you're not in a position to make any kind of assessment or commentary clearly because you're inept.
Get the fuck out of here with your gaslighting.
The reality of it is this is very simple to ascertain and to remedy if we could just get out of our own way.
If we
Talcott has a very observable pattern of when he's questioned and challenged, trying to be controlling or divert from what is being brought forth. That is one quality I see.
Who else has that?
Okay, right. Bring something forth that I fought and run about.
Paul, it's exactly
what am I fighting or running about in this moment? Bring something forth to prove what you're saying to be true. Stop making baseless claims.
Every time I bring up that you're allowing your ego to be dominating and aggressive, just
my personality being my personality being the biggest thing in the room, along with my stomach, has nothing to do with the facts of the matter and the awareness that's presented and shown.
It does. The topic we were just discussing was how you evade and deflect when disagreements are being brought up.
Why you're evading and evading and deflecting now as we speak about my evasion and deflection. You're both doing it.
So let's bring it back to me.
Let's bring it back to you because you said no one cared about you and helping you with your family, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Paul, you were just bitching that I was deflecting, so I'm telling you, okay, bring it
back.
So
Flow State would rather crucify me.
You are disagreeable. You have a pattern of negativity and disagreements.
How am I being disagreeable? I just said bring forth evidence of your claims. I'm not fighting or running.
Big disagreeable. That's fucking amazing. Amazing.
No, I'm asking for evidence to support your claim. That's not being disagreeable. That's being neutral.
Paul, this is where you get to practice your self-awareness. I'm going to wrap this up. Have a good night, brother. And when you look at yourself, you'll be able to see.
So you're not even going to have a conversation about what I've observed with you because I have to look at me. So I don't have the results in my life that you do.
All right. So let's come back to your narrative that you've seen a pattern in me, that I'm disagreeable or whatever when people disagree. One thing that you're not considering, well, there's many things that you're not considering when coming to that conclusion. You're making the assumption that this pattern has been throughout and consistent, but let's consider that maybe after 5 years of this, and considering the fact that I often say how filled I am, how whole I feel, how complete. So if you can't see that my patience is the result of, the pattern. I've also clearly asked, telling people, hey, there's something weird happening in my life. There's a pattern where I'm seeing people's egos are triggered.
So it's just you, right, Jack?
Well, it's actually a pattern I think works with all of us. I just happen to understand it. The difference is I don't know how to convince anyone else to trust me. Once someone trusts me, I believe there will be a floodgate.
Why do I have the opposite result?
Why do you have the opposite result of
everything you're talking about? You say you understand. I also claim to understand on some level, but our results are drastically different.
Well, I think God brought us here together to create a comparison and for us to help refine and strengthen and grow each other.
Right. And the way we do that is looking at cause and effect and results, and then refining ourselves and our approach to life on life's terms.
And communicating and understanding each other better. And those things have happened, and there's been a growth and a development. I'm so convinced that we have other ways, other things. And Paul, there's no burden. However it happens. I mean, someone can literally become a hero in my life just by challenging the choices of other people who supposedly know me. I can't believe this is my life. I was thinking again last night, where the fuck is Ash? Where is the punchline? Where's the joke? When does this change?
Yeah, this is it. The joke is we come here every day. We run pretty much the same various loops. Doesn't matter how much new information is presented from an objective point of view, it's seemingly not taken by anyone. So whether it's rights, freedom, principles, whether it's self-awareness and how to apply that in relationships and communication, it's like you're just going to sit here and keep saying about what your narrative is, what happened with this, why you think it happened, even though your problem is you keep trusting your own logic. You keep trusting your own logic and not taking suggestions.
No. Here's the thing.
Everybody should trust their own logic more than anybody else's secondhand logic.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Because I know that I have my best interest more than I can trust that
Let me
anybody
help you
else
out.
does.
Let me help you out. This is real simple,
I already
Flo.
said I don't want you
Your
to help
best
me.
thinking, I know that's your ego again. Your best thinking got you here.
Can I help you out then after you help me out?
Right. Your best thinking got you here in life. Enough said. So there's evidence why you shouldn't trust your own thinking, because both of your best thinking got you here in life. Are you completely happy and satisfied with your results?
How can I get to be in my girlfriend's laundry room?
Paul, are you somehow fucking imagining yourself way above me?
No, I'm not imagining anything. I'm saying from my perspective, and I would imagine pretty much anyone watching, it would be way better to be me and get my results than be both of you and get your results.
Well,
Okay, let's compare results.
No.
Okay, let's not compare results.
Actually, I'm going to explain my results in my final words. So let's wrap up. Paul, I think we've probably said enough to each other today. Let's have a good night, all right? You too, Flo. So I'm going to throw you guys in the back. Thank you both. Thank you to those who joined the panel, to those who joined the chat, who may tune in at a later time. Thank you. You know, where I started this evening, when good men do nothing, bad men prevail. I shared that I have hopes in the fact that there's others creating agency, creating partnerships and communities. There are groups within the lands who are working towards my goal, creating a disclosure, encouraging the whistleblowers of especially government agencies to come forward, you know, start recognizing the problems that have been created by mankind, by the structures of obedience and greed and selfishness, this individualism, this heartless individualism of selfishness. It's an insanity. It's a disease. Selfishness is a disease. And the Bible talks of that. You know, to fill yourself, to light your candle, to fill you. That's where you got to start. But you got to fill you by, as I've said, cleansing the darkness from within you, because you are the light. Become the light that you are by ridding yourself, your awareness. That's who you are, ridding your awareness of excuses and blame. So you no longer allow yourself excuses and blame to hold you back from the better life that's right there. There is a better life right there waiting for you, waiting for me, waiting for all of us to experience together. When good men do nothing, bad men prevail. And I'm tired of seeing immorality be rewarded. And again, with the thumbnail, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. Become a son of God, a daughter of God, become a child of God, one of the moment, the presence of nature, because the natural state of being for us is love. So be love, choose love, peace for everyone, and brothers and sisters, live without fear. God bless.